And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank you for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over these internets, all over the mainstream media, social media, everywhere, and I don't know where to start. First of all, Chris Rock, back with a vengeance, right? Almost 1 year after the infamous Oscar slap, he's back with a brand new Netflix special in which he capitalizes on the slap. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, you got 4 Americans who were kidnapped in Mexico. What's the reason? Mistaken identity? Were they down there for nefarious purposes? We'll talk about all that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, has ANTIFA descended upon Atlanta, Georgia, in the Cop City area? They say they're not Antifa, but by looking at them and by hearing what they want, they sound like Antifa to me. We'll talk about that a little bit more as well. Also, Ja Morant, NBA basketball player Ja Morant. What exactly are you doing, sir? Basketball is your hobby. Basketball is your job. Why are you in the club with a gun on Instagram Live? What are you thinking about? Also, the NBA MVP. Is the voting for that racist? Do you only win that if you're a white player? We'll talk about all those things and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these internets. If you enjoyed what you were hearing thus far, if you enjoy the content in general, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. We got quite a few things on deck for the night. And before I begin, thank you to all the sponsors. Shout out to me, of course, my website, AnthonyBLogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Of course, link for my website will always be in the description box. You can Google me pretty easily. You can search Anthony Brian Logan. You can search ABL. I'll pop up. The website will pop up. And once you go to the front page of the website, every video that I produce, where I'm talking on it for 8-10 minutes or whatever, I'll write an article for it. And it'll be just basically context. So if you want to fact check me, if you want to see videos that I can't necessarily play on a YouTube channel because of copyright reasons, they may try to strike it. They may try to shadow ban it, whatever they want to do, allegedly. Go to the website. It'll be right there for you, right there on the front page. Again, AnthonyBLogan.com. Also go to the contact page, AnthonyBLogan.com/contact to find my email address, my snail mail address, my social media accounts, my Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff is right there. I do have a TikTok as well, just because I need to have it, unfortunately. We'll see how long that lasts until China bans me or the US bans TikTok. We'll see. We'll see how long that lasts. But yeah, everything's right there on the website, AnthonyBLogan.com/contact for all that good stuff. If you email me, that's fine. Please, please, please don't spam me, meaning sending me like 100 emails a day. I'm going to block you and I won't see any of your emails. But if you just email me here and there, I appreciate that. Thank y'all for doing that. I do read a lot of you guys' emails. I may not always respond, but I do read as much as I can. So thank y'all for sending me news tips and suggestions and things of that nature. I really appreciate it. Also, go to the merch website, ablmerch.com. We got hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more right there on the merch website. Of course, that link will be in the description. That link will also be on the website. Again, ablmerch, merch.com. And of course, we got a PSA. All right, PSA. Now, not only are there scammers pretending to be me on YouTube, they're also on Instagram. So for you guys sent me DMs and emails saying, hey, there's a guy with 11,000 followers on Instagram DMing people from your friends list. He has the same picture, a similar name, et cetera, et cetera. So check it out. Again, all my social media that you need to follow is on my website. So if you ever have a question about, hey, is that you? Just go to the website and see if it's there. If it's not there, it's not me. Now, the TikTok, not TikTok, pardon me, the Instagram account that is impersonating me has like an underscore, some other stuff. My name on Instagram is Anthony B. Logan, and it's all one word. Anthony B, as in boy, Logan. ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN. That's all it is. Any dots or underscores or spaces, it's not me. Okay? And again, go to the website if you're really confused, and that'll show you. Also, same thing with YouTube. If you comment on one of my videos and under your comment, there's a guy that has my picture, a similar name or the same name, and he's talking about, hey, contact me on WhatsApp, contact me on X, Y, and Z. That's not me. I don't know the first thing about Forex. I don't know nothing about cryptocurrency. Well, I do know about cryptocurrency, but I don't know enough to tell you how to make money on it, because if I knew that, I'd make money on it too. If it seems a little strange, too good to be true, it probably is. I will never hit you up in your comments asking you for money or anything like that. I'm not a Nigerian. Somebody said it. I'm not a Nigerian prince. I'm not going to do that. So be on the lookout for that kind of stuff on Instagram, maybe even on Facebook as well, maybe even on Twitter, but definitely Instagram and YouTube. There are people that are impersonating me out there, and it's not me. So don't get scammed. Don't get robbed. Don't do it in 2023. That ain't it. Yeah, CB says, that wasn't you, ABL, asking me to sell you? Oh, snap. Yeah. Excuse me. That was not me. Not at all. All right. But, yeah, Christy, I'll report these accounts, but it can be hard. Like, it's like playing whack-a-mole, especially on YouTube, because you report one and then 10 more pop up. And on Instagram, it's a little bit different, but YouTube is most certainly hard to do that, because you can report them all day, every day. What you guys got to do is be vigilant and realize that I'm not going to be in your comments, in your mentions or whatever, or in your DMs asking you for money or telling you to invest in this particular thing, get rich quick scheme. I'm not going to do that. That's just not what it is. All right. So shout out to you guys for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these internets. If you like what you're hearing so far, if you enjoy the content, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Now, where are we going to start? Where shall we start? Hold on. Am I hearing the noises? Wait a minute. Because I got my dryer going. Hopefully it's not my dryer. I think it's a plane outside or something. So be straight. If I jump up right quick, check on my dryer, I gotta go just set it straight probably. The washing machine is off, just the dryer. But anyway, let me get back to what I was talking about. We got quite a few things on deck. We were talking about, I got a lot of videos I want to show you guys. I got quite a few stories that I want to get into. There's a lot going on. There's a whole lot happening. Oh man, it's a mess. You gotta talk about Kendrick Perkins and the NBA MVP voting. We gotta talk about quite a few things here. Let's start first with Omi and the Hellcat. Shout out to him. Good dude. You know, he follows me on Instagram and comments. He might follow me on YouTube as well. So Omi and the Hellcat, you guys may know who that is. He was a pretty big YouTuber and still is. This is him right here. So he got sentenced to, it might have been federal prison or just prison. He got 5.5 years, and he was ordered. I'm reading this right here from Say Cheese. Shout out to Say Cheese. So Omi and the Hellcat has been sentenced to 5.5 years and ordered to forfeit $30 million in assets, including nearly $6 million in cash, Lamborghinis, Porsches, Bentleys, and McLarens, and a portfolio of more than a dozen properties. So here's what happened with him and why this story, I'm bringing it up. So in a nutshell, and I know there's more to the story, I'm giving you the condensed version. I know it's going to be a well actually out there. If you want to give the entire story, if you want to give the entire documentary that's like an hour long, go ahead and do that. But basically what he did was this. He sold jailbroken Fire Sticks, and it allowed you to get cheap cable TV. He also had a subscription service called Gears TV. It was like $15 a month, and you were able to watch cable TV on that. A lot of different channels, all kind of stuff. Now, what he was doing was operate in a legally gray area. And the reason why I know it was legally gray is because there were other services just like this, called IPTV. There were other ones just like this, but the guys didn't go to jail. They didn't face any kind of criminal penalty. It reminds me of early LimeWire. Remember LimeWire? LimeWire, that it was shut down eventually, or is it shut down? I'm not really sure. LimeWire was a peer-to-peer network, meaning, okay, I have these music files on my computer. When I open up LimeWire, I'm giving whoever is on the other end, whoever's searching for music, access to my library. And then a bunch of other guys and girls doing the same thing. So I may have 10 songs on my computer. You have access to those 10 songs. Another guy has 10,000 songs on his computer. People have access to all 10,000. All of our, everything that we have that's available is shared with the whole world to be able to download whenever they want. A peer-to-peer network, LimeWire. So back in the day, for you young guys out there and girls, what you would do is say, okay, I want the new 50 Cent. I want the new Eminem. You would just go on a LimeWire and search for a song. You could download it straight from there. This is long before streaming services. The reason why you have streaming services like Apple Music and whatnot, Google Play or Google Music, whatever they call it, YouTube Music, which is pretty much what it is. Long before those came about, you had stuff like LimeWire. And then after LimeWire came iTunes. So rather than going on to LimeWire and downloading songs for free, you could just download the songs one by one for a certain amount of money. After iTunes and the per song purchases came streaming, where you paid a certain dollar amount per month to get access to everything. Okay, so LimeWire was the way that whole thing kicked off. All right. Yeah, shout out to LimeWire. Yeah, but truthfully, that was kind of an illegally gray area, because you shouldn't be able to just share stuff like that in a peer-to-peer network, because wouldn't that be considered pirating? I guess so, maybe, but maybe the laws weren't really written for that at that moment. Same thing with Omi and the Hellcat. What he was doing was he had Twitch channels, and he was playing. He had like private Twitch channels. He was playing the movies and TV shows on the private Twitch channel. And what you did with Gears TV is you paid to get access to the Twitch channel. And since it was streaming live, it wasn't necessarily a copyright violation because you weren't recording it. Like it was pretty deep the way it went. So they had to introduce legislation recently to combat what he was doing, because it was in the gray area. They got him on stuff like tax evasion. You know, if a copyright infringement case involves tax evasion, then it's some BS in the mix, because they can get you on that by not paying your taxes properly. That's the whole Al Capone thing, okay? Why are they getting this? Not Omi and the Hellcat. I'm speaking about Al Capone. Why would you get a guy like Al Capone on tax evasion? Shouldn't the murders and the records, like shouldn't the actual criminal stuff you're involved with in the street be enough? But they couldn't get him on that because he was hands clean with that. So, okay, tax evasion, let's get him on that. The same thing they got Omi and the Hellcat with, because really what he was doing was in legally gray area. A lot of other guys did it and they got away with it. His issue was that he probably wasn't paying enough taxes, and then he was flashy and flaunting. That's what happened, in my humble opinion. So, yeah, shout out to him. He got 5.5 years. I think he will probably have to do 60% of the time, right around that. So he might not do that much time. But yeah, that's kind of what's going on. Yeah, somebody says the Fed's listening. Oh, I'm clean as a whistle. I don't do nothing wrong. I don't have no guns. I don't even know what a gun is. Tragic boating accident. And even when if I did have guns, they would all be legal. Everything would be clean. I don't do nothing. I pay my tax. I overpay my taxes. I pay so much in taxes. They owe me some money. How about that? I would never get direct deposit again. If you guys are expecting, if you guys are expecting to get money back on your taxes, like for instance, I pay quarterly, right? So I expect to either not pay taxes or to get some money back. But what I'm not going to do is ever do the direct deposit again. because I got direct deposit and they shorted me. I was like, really? Is that what we're going to do? Just say, all right, you got it now and run away? Because if I got a check and it was short, I'll just send it back and be like, hey, man, that ain't it. I need my full amount. We're not going to play this kind of game. You know, we're not going to play that game where you go to your job and they short you in your check. We're not doing that. But anyway, I digress. The point is that I don't think he should have been locked up because a lot of other guys have done just that and didn't get locked up. I think where they got him was the taxes and the money part, not the whole pirating TV and all that kind of stuff. That's not really what it is. Okay. Exactly. Sometimes, Friendly. You should have followed the model of the old mafia. Don't flaunt the money. Correct. Don't flaunt the money. They're getting no more than that because they don't like the way that he's going about it. Not because necessarily just something that you should go to prison for. You got guys that have actually committed some real crime that are not going to prison or get less time. There was a guy that stole the PPP loan. Like, you're talking about just straight stealing money. What he was doing was offering a service that the cable industry considered to be piracy, although the laws aren't really clear on it. Now, what some people did with the PPP loan was fraudulently take cash money from the government, from the federal government. And you got guys getting 6 months, 1 year. There was a guy involved in a $24 million COVID-19 scam or PPP loan scam, whatever they call it. $24 million. He got 1 year in prison. 1 year. Okay. Now, part of that was because of the First Step Act, but still, even without the First Step Act, he still would have probably gotten 2 years for $24 million. It's guys that take that. It's like, hey, if I can get $24 million and pay $1 million restitution and do 1 year in the joint, I'll do that. Not me, feds listening. I would never do that because I wouldn't even steal a candy bar. I'm not going to steal a thing. I'm not going to steal ideas. I don't even plagiarize words on a sheet of paper. That's how much of a straight and narrow guy I am. However, it's guys that do that. It's guys that say, you know what, $24 million. I can steal $24 million, pay back $1 million, and do 1 year in the penitentiary. All right, bet. Now, granted, I'm not sure if he stole all $24 million. They said that he was involved with a $24 million scheme. So maybe there were co-defendants and other guys that were involved that took some of the money. Or maybe he tried to get that much and didn't get that much. I'm not really sure. But whatever the case may be, if it was 24 million or even 12 and you pay one and do 1 year in the joint, guys will do that all day long, but not me though. Anyway, oh yeah, I think you're right about that. JB Scotchman says teachers union stole millions in PPP loans. They steal millions of dollars without the PPP. You know, they're just robbing hand over fist. I was in Clubhouse today. Shout out to Clubhouse. I'm rarely ever there. But there was a discussion about education, about the school systems and underfunding. That's the biggest misnomer. People think that a lot of these underperforming schools in the inner city are underfunded. Are they underfunded, or is it that the money doesn't matter? Baltimore public schools get some of the most money per pupil in the United States. They're like third in the USA as far as big city population wise, or like, they're not really a big city, but they're a city. As far as population of city schools, Baltimore is like number 3. As far as per pupil funding, they get like $21,000 per student. But the question is, where's the money going? And what kind of money is going to make it to where a parent really cares? What kind of money will make a parent show up to a meeting? What kind of money will make a 2-parent household just manifest out of nowhere? What kind of money will have the mother sit down with the child or the children before they get to K through 12 school, doing flashcards? See, my mom, before I went to school, before I actually entered into the school system, before I was in kindergarten, I'm watching Reading Rainbow, Sesame Street. My mom's doing flashcards with me. Both of my grandparents on my dad's side were teachers. I'm playing all type of educational games, Simon Says, and all kind of stuff, right? I know how to read a little bit. I know how to write, draw, color in the lines. I know how to count to 10, 100, all of that stuff before K through 12. So the money that they make, that they get in these school systems with underperforming kids that can't read at age 18, what they do with that money is just spend it on whatever they want, because they know it doesn't even matter. You can give these kids these nice, environments. All they're going to do is destroy it. And if they don't destroy it, it won't help their education. It won't make them any more proficient. Like, give a kid this elaborate basketball gym, give a kid this elaborate campus upon which to go eat free lunch at 8 o'clock in the morning, or free breakfast and lunch because you can't eat it at the house. You could do all that, but ultimately, is that going to make the kid know how to read anymore? See, I come from hood schools where the parents actually cared, the teachers cared, the students cared. We wanted to learn. Okay, we wanted to learn. I know I got guys I grew up with in the hood that are very good at reading, good at math. They're good at the reading, writing, arithmetic. And nowadays, what you have are teachers who are more interested in LGBTQ, elemental P, X, Y, and Z curriculum. The parents don't really care. The parents just using it as a daycare center. And the kids don't even know what's going on. They have no idea. They're just kind of going with the mix, going with the flow. And at the end of it, you got somebody that might understand that they're transgender at age 14, but also at age 14, they don't know the difference between there, woman and women, man or men. They don't know these basic things, but they know that they're transgender though. But ask them to read a 9th grade level book cover to cover, they're going to struggle. They're going to struggle. But I don't know. I digress. I'm getting triggered. I'm just wanting to get that off in my chest about funding and stuff like that. That's the biggest misnomer. How much does it cost to teach a kid how to read? Okay. How much does that cost? Like, my mom taught me about a lot of stuff before I got to school. How much was she a teacher? Like, was she getting paid $1 billion? It don't cost that much. It's not that difficult to teach somebody how to read, especially a child. How to read, how to write, all that, how to draw, color. It's basic stuff. But I digress. Yeah, 2, 2, and 2. There. Woman, women. People still don't know that. Like, I saw something the other day where air traffic controller confused the left and the right, and it almost caused an accident. Hold on, let me see if I can find that. Air traffic controller confused left and right. Okay. Watch this. Hold on. Check it out. Okay. Plane flies dangerously close to mountain after air traffic controller mixes up left and right. So this is an EVA Air flight. It was within hundreds of meters of Mount Wilson. Now, is this like over there? Okay. So it's a flight from LA, flew dangerously close to a 5,700 foot mountain peak after an air traffic controller confused right with left in its instructions. The accident occurred when weather around Los Angeles International LAX meant flights had to take off heading east rather than traveling west, directly over the Pacific Ocean as usual. The Boeing 777 was flying to Taipei when it was given the erroneous instructions from a controller from Southern California terminal radar approach. So the U.S., like, I'm thinking, okay, it's over there, right? But no, it came from LAX and the instructions came from the LA traffic control. All right. Flight EVA 015 was told by the SCT controller to turn left heading of 180 degrees, climb and maintain 7,000 feet. Not long after departure, around 40 seconds after the turn began, the pilot was told to turn right turn heading 180 degrees. So they begin to turn left, but then they said, nah, go ahead and turn right. Oops, my bad. You're headed toward the mountain. You might crash into the mountain. You might not be able to see it because you got weather going on. So don't go that way. Go the other way. Go to the other left. It's like, man, if we spent more time teaching actual things that matter rather than LGBTQ element of P, then maybe you would know the difference between left, right, east, west, north, south, all that good stuff. I mean, this is totally nuts. But I've been there, though, with adults that don't know that difference. Like, I'm in the car riding with somebody, and I say, hey, take a left. And then they go right. I'm like, I said left. It's crazy, but you got adults that don't know the difference. It's a mess. And you know what? I'm gonna say this here. I think a lot of the technology has made us kind of reliant upon it, because I can see my GPS and I'm looking at it north up. Now, if you're looking at a GPS north up, sometimes the way you turn is not going to be the exact way it's not going to mirror what you're looking at on the screen. If the GPS is north up and you're headed south, when it says turn right, it's going to appear to be left on the screen. But you understand what's going on. You're headed south, so you go to the other door. You see what I'm saying? But people don't even really understand that. They got to see the GPS going straight ahead so they can always look forward this way. So when it says turn right, they can just look at it going that way or this way. This is mirrored. I know my directions. This camera is mirrored. So this way to me is left, but to you it appears to be right. Anyway, I digress. The point is, let's get better education from the early age and not be focused on LGBTQ elemental P type stuff. But I digress. Oh yeah, at GPS, man, like a lot of you young people, here I am, old man shakes fist at cloud. Back in my day, we walked 5,000 miles in the snow with no shoes on, and we had a thin jacket. It had holes in it. My mama patched up the jacket with kitchen paper towels. It was a mess. But anyway, I remember back in the day driving with MapQuest directions or actual map, like one of those maps you get from the rest stop. I remember driving one of those. Now imagine that. Ain't no GPS, no in-dash navigation, none of that. You printing out directions from the computer and literally reading, like, okay, you got to turn left here and turn right there and X, Y, and Z. And if there was new construction and it didn't update the MapQuest, or your bitmap was outdated, you better figure out a way to get to where you got to go, because they're not going to be able to update it so quickly on your phone. It could be updated. It could be just like that updated. But now, hey man, it is what it is. A compass, hey, yeah, use a compass. The way it is now, you got vehicles that have the direction on the rearview mirror. It'll tell you which direction you're going. And you got an Apple Watch. It'll tell you what direction you headed in on your watch. But back in the day, you just had to kind of understand where you were. Yep. So, and Boomhauer says, I drove all the way to New York with paper map from Tennessee. Hey man, it's rough. It's rough. Yeah, well, the screen is mirrored, because the 76 should not be. If the screen was not mirrored, the 76 would be backwards. It's kind of hard to explain. Like, I look like I'm right, but this is my left. This is my left over here, but it's not looking like that on the screen. Anyway, I digress. Because I'm facing this direction, so you see me this way. You don't see me looking this way. If you saw me looking the other direction, facing that way, then it would line up. But anyway, y'all know what I'm talking about. I digress. You bought a map today, Jeanette? Hey, shout out to the vintage. Hey, if you got kids, they say, hey man, you got this vintage map. Imagine that. You're getting called vintage for having the map in your glove box. It's crazy. But I digress. We got some topics on deck that I want to get to, that I want to continue here. Speaking about different regions and traveling and being all over the country and maps and GPS, let's talk about the Atlanta Antifa, shall we? Now, these people, they may not say they're Antifa, but I can't tell. They sure appear to be Antifa to me. Now, there is a police training facility called the Atlanta Public Safety Training Facility. Hold on. It's the Atlanta Public Safety Training Center. It's out there in the forest of DeKalb County. It's like 600 acres of forest, and they're going to develop some of that to be a training ground for police officers. And there's people that live in this forest, or that come by there sometimes and live in the forest, who have been battling the police on occasion because they are protesting the building of the center and I guess one of their guys died. He got shot, killed by the police or something like that. So now they're protesting him as well. They got signs talking about Black and Indigenous lives matter. There's all kind of stuff going on out there in Atlanta. There was also a protest in downtown Atlanta. It didn't get too out of control. A lot of them got arrested. Hold on, matter of fact, let me see if I can find that right quick. There was a pretty satisfying video of that particular thing. All right. Let me see. All right, hold on. Matter of fact, I see something that's breaking right now. So there is currently, let me read this on the screen right here. There is currently a direct action protest by far left extremists outside the DeKalb County Jail in Atlanta, where 22 out of the 23 Antifa domestic terror suspects are being held. An unknown person inside the jail appears to be trying to set the building on fire while the crowd cheers. The fire burns out, however. Wow. How are you going to see somebody's going straight to the hole. Somebody's going straight to the hole. But let me go back here. Before I get into any new developments and breaking news, I kind of want to go back to see the downtown Atlanta protests. And seeing some of these twerps get arrested was pretty satisfying, if I do say so myself. Here we go. Perfect. Citizen Free Press, you are a man of the people. I appreciate you, boss. Hold on. Let me go right here. There we go. All right. So the caption says, Antifa set a cop car on fire in downtown Atlanta, and now they're crying about how they can't breathe while getting arrested. Let's check it out. Get a little bit of sound, no ear piercing. Let's check it out.
What did you do? What did they do?
So you could tell by some of these screeches, this sounds like Antifa. These are Antifa screeches all day long. Okay, I'm not hearing no gang members. I'm not hearing BLM specifically. I'm hearing Antifa screeches. So they can say they're not Antifa, but I can't tell. Okay, this ain't nothing. But if they're not Antifa, they are most certainly Antifa affiliate, Antifa light, and Antifa splinter cell, if you will.
So you can hide it? So you can hide it? Make it quick so you can hide it? We all got it on video.
Fucking hurt our friend.
Let's go.
All that screaming and hollering, I can't breathe. You can't breathe. You could scream and holler and yell and do all kind of yodeling and everything else on the ground. If you can't breathe, I can't tell. You're doing a whole lot of breathing and talking and carrying on to me. So it is what it is. Exactly, Dude Raw. If you could talk, you can breathe. There you go. So that was the protest in downtown Atlanta. That was video from January 21st of this year. January 21st, 2023. And now you have this similar group out there in the forest attacking police officers. Hold on. Let me see if I can find that. There we go. So there were quite a few of these people. This video does not really show everybody that was there. But here's a video that's been floating around a lot of the officers being attacked. You can see these guys in the upper left hand corner. And what they're going to eventually do is throw like commercial grade fireworks, which are pretty much like Molotov cocktails. Ultimately, smoke bombs, all kind of stuff. And there's a lot of guys and girls behind this gate right here. A lot of them. And again, this is what they call Cop City. It's the Atlanta Public Safety Training Center. And the purpose is to train police officers better, to train more, better recruits and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, people like this, the Antifa type crowd, they say, oh, well, we got to train officers better. They need to be better equipped to not just take their pistol out and shoot people, all this and that and the third. That's what they say, right? That's what they say, that they want But then when they try to give it to them, all of a sudden it's not a thing they want and they want to protest. They say they're environmentalists trying to protect the forest, but you out there throwing stuff, I can't really tell. You know, it kind of reminds me of when you had the DAPL protest. Remember that whole thing? The Dakota Access Pipeline? And there were so-called environmentalists out there protesting the construction of the pipeline because say, oh, it's gonna damage their environment, all this, that, and the third. And they were out there living on the grounds where the pipeline was going to be built as well. And when they left, it was a biohazard. A biohazard. It was nuts, right? Hold up. Matter of fact, I want to play some of that for you. Look, you can see up here the movement of people. It's a lot of people in the top left. Let me just get out of here. A lot of people. They said it was like 100 people in the forest, so-called protesting, which ain't nothing but just assaulting police officers. And they arrested 23 of these guys on domestic terrorism charges, because that's what this was. Also, a key point to make. Well, two key points to make. First of all, I think maybe two of the people that were there or that got arrested were from the state of Georgia. Everyone else was from somewhere else, all over the country. California, Florida, Montana, Nebraska, everywhere, all over the country. There was also a Canadian guy and a French guy, like a French national and Canadian national. So how'd you go all the way from Champs-Élysées, from Monaco, from Paris? How'd you come from all the way over there to DeKalb County? What are you doing in DeKalb County? Are you a professional protester? If you're not, I can't tell. You appear to be a mercenary, not a protester. There's a difference. If I go outside my house right now and say, no more police, no more police, I'm protesting. But if I get on the plane, I get money, I'm buying all kinds of resources, I'm bringing things. At a certain point, I'm a merc. I'm not simply a protester, correct? But I digress. And 22 of the people got held without bond. And if you get convicted of that particular crime in Georgia, you're talking about a pretty lengthy prison sentence. You're talking about football numbers. You're not talking about something that can just be wiped away and it's not really a big deal. It's a pretty serious deal. It is a pretty serious deal. And as I'm still thinking about it, can we look at the Dakota Access Pipeline so-called protest pictures? Now, remember this. Okay, so back in 2017, they were out there protesting because they said they were environmentalists. They didn't want the pipeline to come through the Native American lands because if there was a spill, it was going to desecrate their lands and all kind of stuff. Now, look at this mess right here. This is the mess that protesters left. This is disgusting. You got all kind of stuff going on. First of all, there's snow on top of all this garbage. I'm seeing boxes of Cheez-Its. I'm seeing all type of waste products. I'm seeing everything out here. They had to get bulldozers clean up all the trash. It wasn't a matter of you could just go because out here where I live, I see people that have like trash bags on the side of the road, picking up litter, plastic bottles, things of that nature, random paper. They may do that with a stick or something. You're not doing that out here. You need bulldozers, snow plows to get all this garbage up. Okay. And then there's more pictures. See, that's what I'm talking about right there. That's what they had, bulldozers. And you can see that this bulldozer it's just like it's a drop in the bucket. They turned the Native American sacred lands into a landfill. A landfill. This looks like a landfill. Is it though? I can't tell the difference between a landfill and what they left behind. I mean, that could be a landfill or that could be a landfill. Same difference to me. And then this is a picnic table, I suppose. All type of Amazon boxes, whatever. I don't know what they got going on. people, they still want to have their modern comforts and lifestyle, all the access and stuff. They don't understand how to live minimally, obviously. Because these people, a lot of them, you know, they're privileged people. They can afford to live out there for a long time. They usually would stay with their parents in a nice household. They get in their Starbucks every morning. They're getting all that kind of stuff on Amazon Prime, auto delivered. They used to live in a certain type of lifestyle of consumption. And then they come out here calling themselves protesters and live that same lifestyle and don't even understand what they're doing to their environment. And they say that people on the right are they hate their environment. They're not environmentalists. Remember, there was also a so-called protest in Richmond, Virginia. Remember that? It was a Second Amendment protest or a rally or something like that. I'm going to find that right quick. And I'm going to show you the contrast between what the left and what the right left. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Richmond, Second Amendment protest, I think. Cleanup. All right, let me do the cleanup. Let me see if I can find that. Now, I definitely want to see. So here was, I think this was it right here. This was the actual, the protest in Richmond, Virginia.
This is an unusual sight
Right downtown.
on the streets of an American city. But in the state of Virginia, carrying a gun in public is legal.
It's a Glock 19X.
This day, thousands of armed protesters arrived in the capital city, Richmond.
Now, to be clear, you can open carry anything in Virginia, as far as I know. Okay. Now, if I'm wrong, if that's changed, y'all let me know. You can open carry whatever. When I was in Virginia, I was seeing guys in the hood with cowboy holsters, carrying these old-timey revolvers. Freeze, pal, that type of thing. You know, that the whole country western is only, you can't have more than two of us in the same town, that type of thing. I was seeing guys with that in the hood.
To remind state legislators that the U.S. Constitution protects the right to have guns.
Second Amendment right, it's a natural right.
Concerned about violence from extreme and fringe groups, Virginia Governor Ralph Northam declared a state of emergency and banned all guns from the grassy field around the Capitol, the site of the actual rally, angering some.
So I'm trying to find, see, it's like a lot of people out here. I'm just going to skip ahead a little bit.
I'm telling you, this is
Strong presence here, hoping to.
I'm going to go ahead a little bit. But that was the rally. It was tens of thousands of them out there in Virginia. I knew some guys that were there. They said it was all good. It was peaceful. It was all love. Right? It was all love. But what I want to find is when they clean it up, these guys left the park cleaner than it was when they got there. You had guys literally get on their hands and knees picking up stickers from the ground. Stickers. I'm talking about stuff that's like this big. This is my lens cap for my camera. Stuff that was this big, guys on their hands and knees on the ground picking it up. This is not them being paid to do it. Guys that were at the protest, at the rally, on their hands and knees, scrubbing the ground, cleaning it up. These guys left the park better than when they found it. But then when the left goes to a place talking about, oh, we're environmentalists, and you guys on the right hate the environment, that's what they do right here. We don't do that. We do not do that. Okay, I don't litter, you know, I refuse. I don't even put a piece of gum on the ground. I'll put it in the wrapper and throw it in the trash. That's the kind of guy. I'm a neat freak, 100%. I don't play games like that. I don't play around. They do that. They're sloppy, they're slovenly. That's what they are into. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find that. I got to find that clip because that one right there, if I don't find it, it's going to bother me. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give me a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. And let's see if I can get to it here. Let me see. Richmond rally cleanup. Somebody says I love littering. Come on, man. You can't be doing that, man. You can't be doing that. You gotta protect the environment in a serious way. What I don't like is when people talk about we hate the environment because we don't want to tax people for cows farting and stuff like that, dumb stuff, because we don't want to get rid of gas cars, combustible engines, gas furnaces, things like that. Why are you stopping in new homes in California? You're preventing gas stoves or any kind of gas hookup from being installed into the home. Why? What's the purpose? They say it's because the gas stoves are dangerous. For real? For real? I mean, because last I checked, you probably would be more likely to have a house fire from a candle than a gas stove. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but y'all let me know in the comments. An unattended candle or something like that. Electrical fire, bad circuit breakers, things like that. That'll cause a fire probably more than the gas stove would. So what are we even saying? A fireplace rather than a gas stove. People are just making up stuff. But I'm going to keep on rocking here. Salty says, I throw my gum on the ground for the next guy's shoes. Hilarious. 007 girl says, I don't like litter bugs. Neither do I. L says, who cleans outside their home? The footpath, etc.? I do, for sure. Like the sidewalk and all that? Oh, yeah. But I live in a subdivision, so it's not like on the street. But even if I live like on the actual street, I would still do it. But yeah, my outside of my home, spotless. I don't play games like that at all. I do not play games. Matter of fact, here we go. Can we get to it? There we go. I found it. Because if I didn't find it, it was going to bother me. So here we go. This is from 2020. Groups picking up trash off the road after the rally is over. This was right after J6. And by the way, that whole J6 thing, I told y'all right when January 6th happened what they would do. And what I said was right. I was like, they're going to use this for years. That's all they're going to talk about. Anytime they get back into a corner, they're going to say, well, what about January 6th? We could catch them literally selling nuclear secrets to China. They could be on the phone with Xi Jinping talking about, yo, the passcode is XYZ123 to the nuclear codes. Use them right now. Bomb Taiwan. And we're going to say that Russia did it. They can get caught doing something like that. And then they're going to say, well, January 6th was the worst thing that ever happened. It was worse than slavery, worse than Pearl Harbor, worse than the Civil War. Dumb stuff, but I digress. Let's play this right here to see the trash being cleaned up off the grounds of Richmond.
Just pick up the trash. Everybody put it right here in this bag.
So my man has a big trash bag, and everybody around is saying, yo, pick up the trash, put it in the bag.
It's a birthday present for Ralph Northam. Yeah. All right, there we go. I got some over here. Thank you. Put it in the bag.
So that's one, and then there's more. Let me pull up some more here. All right, hold on. Well, that might not be it. But you guys get the picture. You know, I don't think they're gonna do anything like that at the other place. They're not gonna do it. All right, that's what that is. I'm gonna find some more here. There's more. There's many more articles, actually. Here we go. Here's the video. Shout out to Breitbart, the OG Breitbart. My man's on the ground with a trash bag, picking up stickers. Look at this. A sticker. Scraping it up with a knife.
We're out here trying to protest, but we're not trying to destroy the city. This is still the world. We still got to keep it clean. So we're out here trying to make sure that after everyone's done, we left the place like we found it, and we're just trying to make sure that, you know, Richmond's still a great city.
Can't make it up. But I digress. I wanted to just find that and show you guys how we operate. And that's the way it should be. You don't want to go to a place and trash it and damage it or anything like that. Leave it the way you found it or better. And that's what I was always told. You know, that's just basic kind of common courtesy in my humble opinion. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Keep Grounding Up says, I've been at Girl Scout cookie sales more violent than January 6th, said the great Tim Dillon. Yeah, the whole January 6th thing, it appeared to be a guided tour of the Capitol building. But I already knew I knew that it didn't even matter if it was something that was largely peaceful. Ain't that what they say on CNN? Largely fiery, but largely peaceful. It didn't matter if there was not a lot of stuff going on. If anybody was acting up, they're gonna say you were all acting up. So that's just what that was. Just like people that were outside the building that never went into the building still got in trouble. Because at a certain point, now you become a political prisoner. And I kind of knew that could happen before J6. Because, I was invited to that, of course, but I didn't go because I know when you have changing of the guard type moment happening, I know when that happens and you have a bunch of random groups that come to one area, they could be conservative. They could be people that are posing as conservative. Like, man, what's his name? I don't want to say the wrong name. The guy that was talking about go into the Capitol. That guy, who is he? Who is he? Like, why was he there? There's a lot of guys like that, and I've seen that before at political events. Not quite to that level, but I've seen it before at some of these political events. People that really shouldn't be there, people that have nefarious intentions, people that don't have, they're not good faith people. They're there to cause problems. Spies, political spies, they exist as well. Agent provocateurs, honeypots, just like your man Swalwell with Fang Fang. Like they literally put a honeypot. They put a female on him to spy. Ray Epps, thank you for it. Yeah, that's pretty much what I thought that was his name, but I didn't want to say the wrong name. Ray Epps was the guy that was like, hey, go into the Capitol. Who is he? A lot of feds involved. Proud Boys. I knew the Proud Boys was a Fed operation from the beginning. Well, I'm not going to say the whole thing, but I knew some guys in that are going to be feds. Anything where they're talking about right wing and they link it to white supremacy, even if it's not that, it doesn't matter. If they say it is, they're going to have some feds in the mix that are going to try to make it be like that. Just like the whole thing with Gretchen Whitmer. Remember that whole boondoggle? They said that a bunch of these guys from some right-wing militia group were trying to kidnap Gretchen Whitmer, the governor of Michigan. Now, I think out of how many of these guys, it was like 15, 18, I don't know. I mean, it was quite a few guys. There was only 2 guys that weren't feds. You got legitimate FBI agents, right? Badge and everything, FBI agents. Then you have guys that are informants. Then you have like 2 regular normies getting wrapped up in it. That whole thing was a mess. A mess. Anything that looks like that, anything the media says is like that, believe that there's federales involved. Oh, yeah, believe it. Believe the feds are involved. Hold on. Remember the guys that all had on Garmin watches? Remember that whole thing? I can't. Oh, these guys right here. Remember this? Like, what in the world was this? I mean, come on. These guys trying to fit in. It's like, sir, you just came straight from Langley Air Force Base, from the Pentagon, from Camp David, from Secret Service Training Center, from the Cop City down in Atlanta. You guys have on dark colored glasses, sunglasses, okay, the same pair of glasses. You look like a bunch of Agent Smiths out here. You are not. You are highly conspicuous. You are not at all inconspicuous. Okay, if Sore Thumb was a person, you guys would be it. Look at this: Garmin watches, high and tight haircuts. Nobody has a beard, clean shave. Come on, man. I see the cap right here. What's going on, Cap? Lieutenant Colonel. You're the leader, right? I can see you're the leader. You're the whole guy keeping the crew together, because you appear to be about 35, 40. These guys are like in their early 20s. You're the leader. You're the captain. How obvious could you be? That kind of thing is going on all over the country. Abercrombie and Fed, hilarious. Hilarious. Absolutely. They probably bought the clothes that day. Everything looks brand new. They probably went to the same store. They probably went to the same store. Cap probably went to Cap didn't go. He probably sent my man right here, the young boy, the Rook. Cap sent the Rook to go get the clothes. It says, hey, what's your size? You guys wear 32, 34 waist, medium shirts, black socks, because right after this, you're going to put your suit on and get into the Secret Service vehicle and go protect the president or something. This whole thing is a mess. Yeah, Mr. Anderson. That's what's going on right here. But we all saw this. We all saw that whole thing coming. That was a mess. that whole thing was a mess. But shout out to everybody that understands what's happening. Abercrombie and Snitch. Hilarious. Who else? Yeah, everybody got a clean shave, no beard, no mustache, high and tight. Come on, man. Like, you can't be no more obvious. But I digress. Now, speaking about the feds and whatnot, let's speak on these kidnapped Americans and what's going on at the southern border. This is a little bit crazy. Well, a lot crazy. Now, the story is that these people went to Mexico because the girl or the lady that had 6 kids wanted a BBL or a tummy tuck. And if you don't know what a BBL is, basically it's a Brazilian butt lift. And I'm not sure she was getting that. They said tummy tuck. But it's all kind of in the same vein. You just want cosmetic surgery to make yourself look better. Now, here's my question that I have. Why must you got 6 kids. Why? I don't want to blame the victim. Don't misunderstand me. But why are you even doing this? To anybody that may think about, to anyone that will think about this in the future, you shouldn't be going to do this if you have 6 kids. And like, what are you trying to, the risk is far too high. If you want to be some kind of Instagram model, you're Kim Kardashian or something like that, okay, I get it. But a regular person, it's too many regular normies out here getting plastic surgery, endangering their lives. That's how Kanye West's mom died. She didn't get killed by a cartel or anything, but she died on the operation table going to some country, Colombia, I don't know where she went, to get cosmetic surgery. It's not worth it. You know, you're not happy with your body or whatever it is. Okay, I understand. If the gym can't do it, if diet can't do it, then forget it. Oh, well, just work with it. But going to Mexico, to Matamoros, randomly, no tour guide, just out there freewheeling it, too dangerous. People don't know that, so I'm here to inform. A lot of regular normies think they could just go to Mexico. It's all good. They see it on Instagram. People just going to Mexico and everything is fine. But what you don't understand about that is people that go to Mexico and everything's just fine. First of all, they probably know the area or they're going to a safe place. If you're able to go fly to Cancun, you'll be just fine. If you could fly straight there and you stay there, you're fine because they're not going to mess up the tourist money. Personally, I'm not going to Mexico at all. But if you absolutely must go to Mexico, go to the tourist areas that are for you. Matamoros, that's not where you want to go. Cancun, Playa del Carmen, Baja California, places like that. The tourist zones that are specifically for tourists, the resorts, go there. Go there, you'll be all right. Or you have a better chance of not getting kidnapped and killed by the cartel because they don't want to mess that place up because they want that money. Okay, they want the money, same as Mexican government, they want that money coming in. Okay, if the cartels know their Meemaw is made at the resort, they're not going to shoot the resort up. What's the purpose in doing that? Why would they rob you or kill you at the resort when you're getting robbed by the resort anyway because you're paying so much money to go there? In their eyes, but I digress. But yeah, I'm with you, Les. I'm not going to Mexico at all. I'm not going there at all. But some people, they got to go. Like, all right, well, don't go to some random place you're not familiar with, just off the beaten path. It's like going to Jamaica or somewhere. Okay, you want to go to Montego, you want to go to et cetera, Ocho Rios, then you want to go to Kingston. All right, why? You saw it on the movie, you thought it would be cool. All right, well, you're placing your life in jeopardy. Is it worth it? Is the thrill worth it? When I was in El Paso, Texas some years ago, I was talking to guys that just went to Juarez, and that guy looked like he just was I'm like on drugs or something. It's like, hey, man, it was intense going to Juarez. Thrill seeker. It's like, all right, you're going to thrill seek your way to the coffin. You're going to thrill seek your way to the ground, to the grave, 6 feet deep. I'm cool on that. I don't like thrills like that. I like get on a roller coaster. That's a thrill to me. Six Flags, Busch Gardens, Kings Dominion. I like that kind of thrill. Okay. Going to the gun range. That's a good thrill to me. Going to Juarez, going to a war zone. Nah. I like being in a controlled environment where the risk is minimal, but I still have fun. On a roller coaster, the ride might break. I might fall, but it's not really likely. I'm not going to a carnival and getting on one of those rides. I ain't trying to have the whole thing topple over and I get disfigured. But if I'm at Kings Dominion, Busch Gardens, Six Flags, maybe the ride malfunctions and I get stuck upside down for 45 minutes. Maybe. But it probably won't happen. That is enough thrill and risk for me. Going to a war zone where I enter the war zone in my vehicle and they think I'm a Haitian drug lord or something and they spray my car up. That's what happened to the people out there in Mexico, allegedly. So they drive from Brownsville to Matamoros in a van with North Carolina plates on it, but they're from South Carolina. Allegedly, from what I'm reading or in hearing on the news, the cartel right there thought that these guys might have been Haitian drug dealers. So obviously, if these guys are Haitian drug dealers in the wrong territory, they're going to spray the car up. But afterward, they realized, okay, we got Americans. That's what I'm hearing. Although that might not make no sense because, okay, they sprayed the car up. They shot 3 of them. 2 of them died. One person has a wound and is going to live, and the other person didn't get shot at all. Now, they took the 2 survivors all around the region to throw off investigators so they couldn't find them. And they finally found them in a random wooden shack outside of town somewhere. Just randomly, they found them, the surviving people. Now, as far as the deceased, I'm not sure where they are. I don't know. And also, at a certain point, you got to realize, if you thought they were Haitians, you're not hearing no Sakase, Pop Mavule, you're not hearing none of that. You're not hearing no French Creole. You're hearing straight English. So why are you torturing them? They got tortured in that cabin or in that little shack too. Why? Maybe there's more to the story. I don't know. But they say that they were not over there for nefarious purposes. They were over there for a cosmetic procedure. But the president of Mexico said that they were there for medicine. Is it medicine? Is it a medical procedure? Is it something else? I don't really know. I've heard about the idea of drugs being floated around, but why go to their territory in a van, a rental car for drugs? I mean, are you trying to get a bunch of drugs? Like, what are you trying to be? You trying to be a kingpin? Like, what are you doing? If you want drugs, you can find that in the U.S. You can find a connect, as they say, in the U.S. Why go to Mexico for that? I don't think that's what it was. I think it was just they tried to go to a place to get some cheap surgery, cheap procedure, and then all of a sudden now they get sprayed up. But here's the next question. Why do you need 4 of you for one person to go get a procedure? The person, one of the guys is or was married, and the wife did not know that he was going on a trip. There's quite a few questions I have about that, but ultimately, you have Americans that have been shot, killed, and then 2 more that were tortured. So what are we going to do about that? Is that not? And please be clear, this ain't the first time we've had Americans that have been attacked by the cartels, because they come across that border. You live in the border town, you got a property right there. Well, hey, they might break in, they might assault you, they might kill you. It's whatever. The cartels also operate all over the country. Did you guys see where there was a retaliation against a family in California? The whole family got killed. It was like 9 people. Baby, grandma, everybody. So we got a serious problem on our southern border that's really also in the USA. So the question is, what are we going to do about it? We've seen this kind of story happen before, but it doesn't get much coverage. I think this got covered more because it was like, okay, first of all, where they at? Did it get kidnapped? What's going on? A video came out of them being dragged into the car. And I think when that video came out, and I won't play it right here because it's very graphic, I think that video shows deceased people. One person is being dragged on the ground. You can see the streak of blood behind them. At that point, they're pretty much gone. It was a mess. And this is like broad daylight. You could, I mean, people not even trying to really see what's going on. You get other cars around it. They're just throwing the bodies in the back of the truck bed. It was a mess. It's crazy. So nah, I'm cool on that. Some would say, you know what, things are bad here, ABL. Things are dangerous here in America. All right, that's fine, but check it out. I'd rather would be here in America where I have access to my weapons. I got backup. I know kind of where I'm at. I speak the language. I'm going to Mexico in some random place I've never been to before. I don't know nobody. I don't speak no Spanish. I'm not really knowing where I'm going. If I must go, I'm going straight to the resort. Matter of fact, let me land right by the resort. I'm talking about the airport should be connected to the resort. I'm going straight from the gate. I'm walking to the resort. I don't want to get no cab and get kidnapped or robbed or nothing like that. I don't want to do it. Yeah. The border's wide open. Oh yeah, the border, they let pretty much everything in now. The fentanyl coming across, that's a mess. China's involved with that, of course. They send the cartels the precursors, the chemicals to make fentanyl. The cartels make it. They bring it across the border, and they flood us with it. They're flooding us with the fentanyl, but they're worried about TikTok and stuff like that. Now, I'm not saying TikTok is innocent or harmless, but what about the fentanyl coming across? Isn't that a bigger thing? If we're worried about Chinese imports, let's talk about, first of all, they make everything that we purchase. They make everything. I'm talking about every single thing. Even things that are made in America are still often dependent upon parts and components that come from overseas. China. You ever see where they have tools and they'll say, made in America with global components? What does that mean? Well, it might have been assembled here in America, but it probably, the actual pieces came from China. They make everything here. They make the things that we need and the things that we don't need. They make all the cell phones that we have to have. You got to have your cell phone. I mean, what you going to do without it? Everything's right here. Your life, everything is right here. I mean, you can live without it, but it's very difficult. Your phone, you need that. That comes from over in China. But also things you don't need, like the fentanyl. That's Chinese as well. And we get flooded. All right. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. Duke Raul says the resorts are not safe either. That's what I'm saying. I'm going to just stay right here in the U.S. or I'll go to a safe country. I'll go to a safe country. I'll go to Europe or somewhere and I'll be good. That's, or like I said, in somewhere in the U.S. It's dangerous. All right, I could bring my gun with me. I sure can. I give it to TSA, unload it, bring it to my destination, and I got it. What else was I going to say? Yeah, iClop says, "I vacation in Florida feels right." There you go. Shout out to Florida. Love Florida. Tampa, Miami. But Tampa is my spot. Love Tampa. Love it. That's where I want to go. And somebody said it, but I've missed it. Somebody said that, Kelly says, my parents loved it, but it was scary getting from airport to resort. You see what I'm saying? I want the airport attached to my resort. Okay, I want it to be Playa del Carmen Airport, Playa del Carmen Resort combined. That's what I want. Okay, let me get the Hartsfield Jackson Airport in Atlanta. You got all kind of stores and whatnot attached to it. All right, check it out. Give me the airport, and one of the terminals will be just a walkway straight to my resort, and it's like sealed off, and it's secure. with military and everything around it, so I don't have no problems. I didn't get in no cab or nothing. And when I leave, I can just walk straight from my hotel room down a path that's well lit up, guarded with police and military, and then I go straight to the terminal, get on my plane, and carry my hind parts back to the house. That's what I want to do. Exactly, Les. Land an airplane on the resort rooftop. Okay? Just straight like that. Give me one of those firefighter poles to slide down or elevator, and I'm good money. Straight to the room. Duke Raul says a friend of mine was murdered at a Mexican resort. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Duke, but that's crazy. That's totally crazy. All right, but we got more on deck. Let's talk about Chris Rock. My main man, Chris Rock. Chris Rock literally he turned lemons into lemonade. Let's go back to the slap, shall we? Let's go back. 1 year ago, almost to the day, 1 year ago, Chris Rock got slapped live on the Oscar stage. And people are so dumb. You guys are smart. You guys understand that it's not okay to assault somebody over jokes. Okay. Now, Chris Rock gets slapped on stage. This was the slap heard around the world. Understand this. The Oscars is a really, really, really big deal. Many of us don't like the Oscars or Hollywood or anything like that, but around the world, your mouth breathe, your normies, they love this kind of stuff. It's just like Miss America. Miss America, you know how big Miss USA is, or not Miss USA, Miss Universe. You know how big that is for the whole world. Miss Universe is like almost the equivalent to the World Cup. Not quite, obviously, but you're going to have the whole world tuned in. Every country wants to see themselves like on the big stage. Miss Philippines, Miss Angola, Miss USA, Miss Brazil, Miss Japan, Miss Russia. Every country is represented on stage. So it's a really big thing. The Oscars is very similar because we have international films. It's peak American cinema and culture given to the whole world. So many times the world will see us as Americans through this kind of stuff because the whole world watches. It's streamed live all over the world in different languages. Asia, Africa, Europe, all over the place. South America, Central America, everywhere. So when Will Smith gets up and slaps Chris Rock, man, it's just the whole world sees it. You're getting slapped in front of millions of people all over the world. So what do you do in that moment? You can't fight back if you're Chris Rock. You could fight back, but what's going to happen? You see the black male, for better or for worse, justified or not, aggressive. We're seeing it as aggressive, low impulse control, low IQ, all kind of stuff. Will Smith, for his whole career, dispelled that rumor or that stereotype. Pardon me. He dispelled the stereotype. Family guy, wife, kids, always a good guy. He dispelled that stereotype. He goes on here and destroys his whole reputation and his whole 30 years in entertainment. Destroys it right there. Now, Chris Rock can get in the mud with him in his Tom Ford suit jacket, his tuxedo jacket. He can do that. But why? Why would you do that? He did all he could do in that moment, which is to be cool. Some are going to say that Will Smith is a big guy. He could beat Chris Rock up. But that slap did not knock Chris Rock down. You see the way he's like putting his whole body in it and his whole weight behind like a punch. If you punch somebody and you put your weight into it, you get that motion, you can knock somebody out. Hit him right on the jaw, right on the butt, you can knock him out. He's trying to do that with a slap. Chris Rock ate that slap, kept on going. It was all good. I don't know if Will Smith is really that tough of a guy that he tries to make you think he is. I think Chris Rock can take him. Although Chris Rock has said he made a whole TV show about how he would get beat up and bullied as a kid. Everybody hates Chris. In the show, He was always getting beat up, bullied as part of his whole life in New York, living in Brooklyn, Bed-Stuy, wherever. It's part of this whole thing in the 80s or whenever he grew up. Anyway, that was a whole big thing. And the reason why he got slapped, remember, is because Chris Rock, as a comedian, was making jokes on stage, as usual, about those in the crowd. And he called Jada Pinkett Smith, Will Smith's wife, G.I. Jane. Now, why would anybody be offended? At first, when he told the joke, Will Smith laughed. He thought it was funny. But Jada gave him this eye, this little look like, oh, I didn't like that. So now we see Jada sick Will Smith on Chris Rock. But really, for real, it was a joke. Why get offended? You got a bald head. You got alopecia. So what? Put a wig on if it's like that. If you're so insecure about your bald head, put a wig on. I don't care. Everybody does it in Hollywood anyway, whether it be a wig or extensions or something like that. Put a wig on and it's fine. I saw Lizzo pull her pants down and start twerking. Why can't you put a wig on? Are you going to get judged for that? Anyway, I don't think Chris Rock would have made a joke about her wig. She's offended, therefore Will's offended, he gets slapped. And everybody kept saying throughout the entire time, hey man, he should speak out about it. Oh, Jim Carrey said that Chris Rock should sue or press charges. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find that. And I think he was right.
I was sick.
Hold on, let's see. Now, Jim Carrey, I'm not a big fan of recently, politically, but throughout his career, he's been a very good actor and a very good comedian. I first saw Jim Carrey on A Living Color. He was hilarious on Living Color. Just a really overall funny person, a comedian. So he understands the role of comedy. Now, of course, like I said, the political stuff, he's on somewhere else. Comedy-wise, I still take him seriously. I can compartmentalize the political stuff from the comedy and his track record.
I was sickened. I was sickened by the standing ovation. I felt like Hollywood is just spineless.
Because remember, after the whole slap thing, Will gave a speech because he won the award for, I think, what was that, best movie or something, which everybody knew he was going to win. And he gave a speech. He was crying and all kind of stuff. And then, like, playing the victim. Oh, they talk about you all the time and you don't never do nothing. He played the victim and standing ovation, clapping.
En masse. And it really felt like, oh, this is a really clear indication that we're not the cool club anymore.
There was some question today about if anyone else had walked from the audience and done that, they would have been escorted out by security or maybe even arrested. The police asked Chris if he wanted to file charges. They asked Chris, do you want to file charges? And Chris apparently said no, he did not.
He doesn't want the hassle. I'd announced this morning that I was suing Will for $200 million because that...
Facts, big facts. He could have easily done that. That's the Hollywood way. That's a Hollywood way. They're going to sue. Remember Nick Cannon and Mariah Carey, they were married at one point. They had children. Now Nick Cannon has all the kids in the whole world, just like Elon Musk, but it's a different story. Anyway, when Nick Cannon and Mariah Carey were married, the nanny tried to sue them because he or she said that the baby headbutted her and caused serious emotional damage or something crazy like that. So a baby headbutted her and she was suing Nick Cannon and Mariah Carey for millions of dollars. So that's the Hollywood way. He could have easily sued and got a bunch of money.
Video is going to be there forever. It's going to be ubiquitous. You know, that insult is going to last a very long time. If you want to yell from the audience and disapprove or show a disapproval or say something on Twitter or whatever, you do not have the right to walk up on stage and smack somebody in the face because they said words.
So Jim Carrey was right on point right there. Now, I would play the Chris Rock response, but it's way too vulgar. Chris Rock went off. And if you want to see the Chris Rock response, it's on Netflix. This is not an ad, but it's on Netflix. It's called Selective Outrage. And I saw most of the special, or some of it at least. Some parts I didn't really like too much. The whole January 16 wasn't really up my alley. But I mean, the thing about Will Smith is right on point. Also about being the victim. You're talking about you can succeed nowadays by being the victim. And he refused to be a victim. He could have pressed charges on Will Smith. Didn't do that. He could have sued him. Didn't do that. He just turned it into an opportunity to have some material for his next comedy show. Do you know he got paid $20 million for that comedy show? He had a deal with Netflix for a 2 special deal, $40 million, $20 million apiece. So that Will Smith slap, $20 million in his pocket from Netflix because of the deal you already had signed. And I'm sure they're happy at Netflix because he's driving subscribers, which was the whole point of the deal to begin with. So Netflix wins, Chris Rock wins, Will Smith loses. Oh, well. So more of the story is keep your hands to yourself. Be careful who you hit out there because it might not work out too well for you, for sure. Oh, yeah. Also, the Chappelle special is on Netflix as well. Check that out. That's right, AB, for sure. Oh, yeah. Chris Rock got on Meghan Markle. That was a good one. Yeah, because, hold on. Matter of fact, I'm going to play that joke because it's kind of, I think that's clean. The joke about Will Smith and Jada is dirty as dirty can be. Cussing and all type of, adult stuff. Watch it on Netflix. I can't play that right here. Even though my video, I had to bleep it out and everything. But I know we got little kids watching, so I can't play that part. But I'm going to play the Meghan Markle one. Because that was right on point. All right, hold on.
The whole thing humbled Lola. My God, because Lola got kicked out of school for real. So she had to apply to another high school.
Oh, hold on. No. Wait a minute.
The fuck?
I'm sorry about the cussing. I told you about Chris Rock. I mean,
You're so racist. You're so racist. Some of that shit she went through was not racism. It was just some in-law shit. Sometimes it's just some in-law shit. Because she's complaining. I'm like, what the fuck is...
All right, I can't play that because it's too much cussing. But basically, to sum up the joke, without having every cuss word in the world on the man played, basically what he was saying was that Meghan Markle was talking about how it was racist for the family to be concerned about if she have a brown baby or how a brown baby would be. But is that racism? Because that's common to want to know that. If you have anybody in your family that's mixed, you're curious about, okay, are we going to get brown baby, black baby, white baby, what's going on? It's not racism. It's more just curiosity. You could say it's racism, but really? Furthermore, you might have issues with in-laws. That's just kind of what it is. Why would the royal family, quote unquote, be excluded from having any kind of in-law drama? So I think that was right on point. Oh, one thing I want to say is that they dug up a clip of Chris Rock, of course, because you know how Twitter is, social media. They're digging up clips from people from 15 years ago, whenever it was. They're digging up old clips, and then they saw where he gave Louis C.K. an N-word pass. Now, personally, I don't use any kind of racial slurs at all, so this wouldn't be in my wheelhouse. People were saying that he hates himself, he hates black people because he did that, but it's like, come on, man. That's not something that's abnormal. The black community, quote unquote, we gave Jennifer Lopez the N-word pass. Fat Joe got the N-word pass. Fat Joe's not black. J-Lo's not black, but they kind of grew up among us in the community, so to speak. So you could say it. Tekashi 6ix9ine got the N-word pass. A lot of non-blacks got the so-called N-word pass. So why be worried about Chris Rock doing the exact same thing that's been done throughout the history? Again, I don't even use language like that, so that's not even something I have to deal with. Can nobody say to me, well, you use it? No, I don't. No, I don't. I don't use words like that, so I don't want anybody to say it to me. If I don't speak to you like that, Don't speak to me like that. Now, anybody else, whatever you want to do, that's on you. If you think you can just go to somebody and say the N-word because they use it, all right. Hey, man, this is what I'm talking about. You putting your life in jeopardy. Is it worth it? Is it worth risking your life because you want to just say certain words you can't normally say? I think not. I know I can't go to certain places and do certain things or say certain things. I know if I go to a Crip neighborhood, Blood neighborhood, I say the wrong word, the color maybe might be off. If I do that there, I know that I'm in jeopardy. Why do that? Again, I don't like thrills like that. I'm not a life or death thrill seeker. Okay, I don't like playing Russian roulette with a revolver to my dome piece. I like to go roller coaster, a movie, what else? Maybe even a little drag racing, okay? Not some kind of drag queen stuff, but like a car race on the road. I'm at a red light, you at the red light with lock eyes. All right, let me go ahead and gun my little 4-cylinder to the max and see if I can gap your little Dodge Charger. That'd be fun. That'd be fun. Beyond that, I'm cool. I'm good. I don't like life or death risks. I don't like putting myself in harm's way like that just for no reason. I saw this video of this dude. Hold on. Okay, see, this is what I'm talking. I'm gonna show you guys this video. Things that I don't like doing. I don't like these kind of risks. All right, hold on one second. Let me see if I can find it. There was this guy. I don't know where he was at, what he was doing, but he decided that he wanted to get into. All right, there's cussing here a little bit, but not much. It's gonna be funny. So this guy got into a cage with some leopards. Like, these are big cats, but not quite lions, but still a little bit too big for me. I don't even like regular house cats, little kittens. I don't even like little baby cats like that. Because when I was a little boy, I got scratched by a cat. I'm petting the cat, and the cat just scratched me for no reason. It's like, what did I do, little cat? But anyway, this guy's in the cage with big cats.
Come on, you can push. You can push.
That's too much. Like, that right there is a little bit beyond where I'm comfortable at. And the guy looks like me in 10 years or 5 years. That's not going to be me.
Oh. Okay. Okay. Move it. Sure. You move it? Yeah. Oh, the shoes. Hey, that's my ass.
Yeah, I'm cool on that. I don't. I'm cool on that. I don't want that kind of. I don't like that kind of stuff, man. If you like that kind of risk, that kind of thrill seeking, good on you.
Black one. It's a black Jaguar. It's a boy that fight mans.
It's a black Jaguar. I'm cool. No thanks. No thanks. We're not doing all that. We are not doing it. I like safer stuff than that. Messing with no big cats. But anyway, if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Yeah, say just want to play. That cat was big as him. That cat on his hind legs had to have been about a good 5 foot tall. I'm cool. Nope. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, shout out to the cats. Regular cats, big cats. Nah, I'm cool. They smell fear? Well, hey, but they're gonna be having their nose gonna be going off. They're gonna have a 4-alarm, 5-alarm special with their nose because I'm scared. It is what it is. I ain't trying to be Mr. Tough Guy. You know, I ain't trying to have no wild animal in the cage with me that can't even escape. No. All right. But we got super chats on deck. Do I have more I wanted to get to? Ja Morant. Okay, Ja Morant quickly, and then we go to the super chats. So Ja Morant is an NBA player. He's a very good player. Plays for the Memphis Grizzlies. One of the top players in the league. Very young guy. He could be the face of the league. But Ja Morant wants to be a thug. He wants to live this life that I don't think is even in him. Okay, so let's play the video first of Ja Morant in a strip club in Colorado. Now, remember, Ja plays for the Memphis Grizzlies. The season is going on right now. So if he's in a Denver strip club, that means he probably was there either before a game at Denver or after the game. Either way it goes, he probably brought the gun on the plane. You didn't drive to Denver. So why do you have a gun in Denver while you still, you see what I'm saying? Put two and two together. Now, check it out. Hold on. So this is him in the club with a gun and flashing it. Now, he went on his own Instagram. He went on his own Instagram, recorded himself live playing with the gun in the club, holding it like, you know, like he's got, I don't know what he's got. A piece of fish. I don't know what that is. Yeah, get what ring the status. Exactly. Now, by the grace of God, he was investigated, but they closed the investigation from the Denver police. They said there's not enough evidence if he committed a crime. So he won't get prosecuted criminally for having a gun in the club. Although you probably cannot have that. If you're a regular Joe, this would not be allowed. You wouldn't be allowed to go into the club with the gun because they'll pat you down, metal detector, gun, not gonna happen. But if you're Ja Morant, you're the big millionaire, basketball player, famous celebrity, you're not going to get patted down in the club. So the gun is on you and you record yourself on IG playing with it. Now, there's a lot going on. He is lucky he didn't get prosecuted because he likes to drink. He's in a club that serves alcohol. So having the gun while you're drinking, can't do that. That's illegal. Gun in the club, can't do that. That's illegal. So luckily, he has not been prosecuted here. But he'll probably get a very long NBA suspension because the CBA in the NBA, collective bargaining agreement, it says if you bring a gun on the plane, that's automatic 50-game suspension. Automatic, right off the top. The regular season, 82 games. So if he got suspended at the halfway mark, that'd be the rest of the season and some of the playoffs and possibly someone next year. So if he gets suspended right now, he's done for the rest of the season and probably the playoffs of next year, a little bit of next year, like the first few games of next year. But the thing I have a problem with is Ja Morant has two parents, came up in South Carolina. Like, okay, here's Ja Morant recently. Now, you know how they do when somebody commits a crime and they want to bring up pictures and they say, oh, well, he was a good boy, all this and that. You know, they say all that kind of stuff, right? But he literally was a good boy. Hold on. Watch this. I'm going to find his family right quick. I'm going to find his family right quick. So, we get all kind of pictures of him, his mom and his dad and his sister. All right, here we go. Now, that's him right there on the far right. The picture is cut off, but his mom is right there, right next to him. Sister's right there. His dad is at every game. His mom was basketball. Dad, basketball, dad. Mom, basketball, mom. Sister also play basketball, and that's him right there. Recently, wearing a Grizzly shirt. These are not high school pictures, little kid. This is him recently. So Travis says his upbringing, why is upbringing relevant? The upbringing is relevant because why would you be thug-like when you didn't grow up that way? Why would you do that? I could understand. I'm not saying it would be excusable, but I could understand if you grew up in thug life and you acted like thug life, that'd make sense. But if you didn't grow up that way, why are you acting that way? It's a reason. You're trying to do a thing that you're not even really. You're trying to fit into the rap culture, to the hip hop lifestyle. You're just doing whatever you want to do. So that's the reason. Not because you grew up like that. There's some guys in the league that grew up thugging, drugging, and everything else from a young age. Rough lives, guys that have been homeless or whatever. Not saying it'd be okay for them to do stuff like this, but you will understand why they would do it, because they grew up like that. But if you grew up with mom and dad and everybody else, then what are we doing? You're just being fake. Again, not saying it's okay either way, but there's no reason for you to do it other than just trying to get some attention, which is why he went on his Instagram live and showed himself with the gun in the club. Nobody said, Ja, you got to get on Instagram and stream yourself with the gun in the club and play with it like it's a toy. Who said you got to do something like that's moronic. That's you trying to be this guy you're really not. And I hate guys like that because I come from these environments for real, and I know what it's like to be around that kind of stuff. And guys like this I hate because you had the two parents in a nice household, but you want to throw it all away and be a thug or try to behave like a thug or a rapper or something like that. It's like, come on, man, what are you doing? You know, that's just what it is. Man, whatever. Black American culture, get out of here with that BS, man. I come from the culture. Ultimately, if you want to be acting like that, it's because you just dumb and you want to follow it. I come from that environment for real, and I didn't want to do that. I wanted to be the nerd. Make your own choices in life. It'd make more sense if you come from a bad environment and you turn out to be a bad person or gangbanging or whatever. But if you don't come from that environment, you were not raised that way, then there's no reason for you to do that. What's Black American culture? No dad, no mom? Look at, okay, dad and mom right here. So now what? What are we talking about? No family? Mom, dad, sister, house, dog, yard. What are we saying? Not everybody lives that type of TV, 50 Cent rap lifestyle experience you see on that you see. Not everybody lives that way. He didn't live that way. He's just pretending to live like that. He's pretending to be like that. And I hate guys like that. I hated guys like that when I was a kid, especially. And I hate guys like that even more now. But anyway, I digress. So luckily, he's not been prosecuted by Denver area police. But he'll probably get a lengthy NBA suspension. 50 games at least. Yeah, that's just what it is. Why are you typing with the ellipses? Can you just type without that? Or is your space bar broken on your phone? Like, what's happening? I'm getting triggered, so I'm going to digress. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. But yeah, don't be Ja Morant. You know, I know so many guys that come from the same environment I come from. We do our best to not end up like that. It's like a real battle. So when guys do that, when they do not have that type of lifestyle growing up, when they had the two parents, when they had things that they can use to succeed, it irritates guys like me who did not have that. It's just irritating. Anyway, I digress. And then, one more thing. Some smooth brains made it into a Second Amendment issue. Oh, well, he has right to a gun. Man, please. A responsible gun owner does not wave it around like it's a toy on Instagram Live and play with it to get attention. We don't do that. If I had a gun on me, you wouldn't even know it. You wouldn't even know it until you had to know it. I'm not trying to wave it around and play with it and like it's a toy on Instagram. That's not responsible gun ownership. You have the right to own a gun, but we're all saying be responsible with your gun. It's not a toy. It's not a toy or a thing to get attention with. It is a tool, and it should be used properly, period. I'm not waving around a nail gun in the air. It's a tool. I got to drive nails with it, not just throw it around in the air like it's a toy. But anyway, I'm triggered, so I digress. Brandishing, exactly. Brandishing, man, But I'm triggered, so I digress. Thank you to Holly Rider 1 for the super chat who says, so ABL, I got laid off from my career at a computer company after 14 years. Got the news on the same day as State of the Union where Biden says how the economy is booming. Well, I got to disagree. FJB, but I hope you are well and good. Thank you for that, man. I appreciate you. I do. Thank you to Nick Corio, who says, hello, my dear friends, with the dear, with the dear emojis. Thank you to Crisp Asian, who says, ABL, look at the New York Times article about Tucker's DMs. I saw that, talking about how he didn't like what Trump was doing. Let me see if I can find that. And let me see. This is on National Review, actually, which is kind of a conservative site, kind of a little bit. They're kind of anti-Trump too, a little bit too. I won't read this right here. I'll just read the headline. I'll probably do a video on it. Quote, I hate him passionately, unquote. Tucker Carlson unloads on Trump and text messages. And this came out today, March 8th, 2023. So I may do a video on this tomorrow. I've not read any of the text. I've just seen the headline come about. So I'll check it out. If it makes sense to do a video, and I'll do it. Thank you to Dutch Schaefer, who says, ABL or anyone in the chat, Schumer and Rupert Murdoch said all this about the 1-6 footage is a lie. If this is true, is this true? If so, when did Murdoch say this? William Scott Jr. says NBA player Jonathan Isaac got injured again, and the left was talking about how it's karma for not kneeling. Kneeling is what killed George Floyd, so why are you doing the same thing that Chauvin did? Thank you for that, man. I appreciate you. You know, that's how they operate, though. They're not compassionate people. They have hatred in their hearts. If you don't lockstep with them, then they wish the worst on you. That's just how that goes. You know, the lifespan of an NBA athlete or of an NFL athlete can be short. The average career in the league, in the NBA, is like 5 years or less. 3 years, I think, in the NFL, 3.5 years, average career, including the guys that do 20 years like LeBron James and the guys that ride the bench and might, you know, get a little bit of playing time here and there for a couple of years. So it's not, you can't necessarily play forever. Sometimes guys have short careers and that's it. They may not necessarily be all-star guys and may play for a little while. That's just the nature of the game. All right. Thank you to Boomhauer, who says, please shout out our little bundle of joy we adopted. She turned 21 today. Happy birthday to her. We did our job and she is grown. We will see her tomorrow in Arizona. Well, happy birthday to you, young lady, 21 years old, big milestone for you. So enjoy your day for sure. Thank you to Journey Trials and Joy, who says, when January 6th happened, I knew then it was all orchestrated. The fact that news media went along with the lie is all connected. This should worry everyone. Also, Journey Trials and Joy says, at this point, how can we as the people have faith in a system this corrupt? I don't see how USA can be a nation without starting from the ground up. Also, they say, lastly, no system can survive without people of virtue. Once the FBI, CIA, Congress, and senators go, evil doesn't matter who votes on, no one wins. Thank you to Nick Corio, who says, our government whines and complains about a few guys getting routed on January 6th if they fund and support violent coups and insurrections of democratically elected leaders across the world, like in Ukraine, Venezuela, etc. Thank you for that. Definitely appreciate it. Thank you to Jake Thomas, who says, ABL, did you hear about the accusations against LeBron James? A former UFC fighter and ESPN analyst says him and LeBron James have the same PED drug dealer. That's funny. I mean, it's possible. LeBron James, 38 years old, still doing windmill dunks. I mean, at a certain point, you're 38 years old. I don't care how good of an athlete you are, how much money you spend on your body every year. At a certain point, you're 38. So that's possible. It's possible. Thank you to Rita's Lover for the keep it up working out emoji. Thank you to Blast Radius, who says people keep clowning Chris Rock for not fighting back. If that happened, it would have been a riot on stage, and that would not look good for the mostly black production of that award show. Chris was smart to hold back. It would have went from the Oscars to the Source Awards. It would have been the World Star moment. It would have been completely embarrassing for everybody. The only guy that was embarrassed here really was Will Smith. Deservedly so. If Chris Rock fights back, then they all go down with him. They get to Alien Spaceship, who says, cats bite because they're trying to play, but I understand. Yeah, I'm cool on that. I don't want to get bit in my hind parts by no cat, big or small. I'm cool. Okay, you want to play over there. Play with your friend, the leopard or the tiger, the liger, whatever in the cage. Don't play with me. All right, I'm gonna just be over there watching from afar. I'll be in the zoo looking in the glass, and that'll be it. That'll be the closest I get to anything like that. It's simple. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. So somebody says that Ja Morant got a 4-game suspension. Is that true? Let me look it up right quick. Okay. Let me see. So they're saying that he's going to remain away from the team. Like, he was put on self-imposed exile, but there's not an official number of games. So they're saying he'll miss at least 4 more games. He was already out for like 2 games. Like I said, he's going to be away from the team for a while, and then they extended it. So it's going to be total of 6 games so far, but it may be extended more. It's kind of random. Like, if you're going to give him a suspension, give him a suspension for real. At least 4 more games. Why not just 10 games or whatever it's going to be? If it's a 6-game suspension, that ain't enough. A gun on the plane, you can actually go to jail for that. So that's going to be a problem. He probably would get suspended. Like, let's say he comes back after the 4-game suspension on top of the 2 games he already did. So 6 games total. Let's say he comes back. He'll have to get suspended again for the gun on the plane. If they investigate and see they did something wrong, he'll get more for sure. All right. But that'll be right for Super Chats. Thank y'all for doing that. Definitely appreciate it. Thank you to Dennis Keynes for gifting all those memberships. I appreciate you, boss. But let's get to the calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. There's also a Skype email in the description. You can call in right here, bottom left-hand corner of the screen. Please do not be afraid to call in. It is all good. All right. And let's go ahead and get cracking. All right. Yeah, I have just one number, no other numbers. Let's go to the 918 in the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, what's up, ABL? It's JB Scott from Oklahoma. How you doing, buddy?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
Hey, not a lot, dude. Hey, enjoying the show tonight, like always. My main subject was about Mexico and what's happening down there. Let me tell you what, man. If Trump was still in office and 4 of our citizens got killed, well, 2 of them anyway, one was critically injured and one's still alive, you know what Trump would do? Because we know exactly where these cartels are at. He'd drop a dang Moab on them and just blow the heck out of them and just wipe them all out in one strike. And it would not cost us a single life in U.S. military. You know, I tell you what, someone like Biden and everyone in the Biden administration, they don't have the guts to do that. They won't do anything. Nothing's going to get done about this. No, we need leadership. We need strong leadership. And we need a president that would be like, you know what? No, you kill our citizens, we're coming after you. And you know what? It's not even attacking Mexico. We're attacking the cartels that are from all over Central America, going all the way down to the south of South America. So it's not an attack on Mexico. It's an attack on the cartels that are killing us and coming into our country. Yeah, I mean, we need a real leader, and Biden is not a real leader.
I'm with you. Absolutely correct.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what's really going to suck is like here in a couple of weeks, there's going to be hearings, you know, from Congress with my arch nemesis, Alejandro Mayorkas. And he's going to be saying, oh, the border is secure, the border is safe. There's nothing going on down there. It's like bullcrap. No. Tar and feather him out of this country. Yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah. And then I'm going to give a quick shout out to all my cat fans out there. I've been a cat guy since I was a little kid. And I don't know, those little leopards and panthers, I mean, seem pretty cool, but yeah, they might kind of freak me out a little bit. But I've always been a cat guy my whole life. Yeah.
Right on.
All right, man. Well, I love you, dude. Love everyone in the chat, even the ones that don't like me, that always just, yeah. So, all right, everyone, have a good night.
Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate you.
All right, later, dude.
All righty. Great call. Thank you to my man for calling. Let's go to, and the phone lines are blowing up. Y'all just hang tight. If I stop one on line, my speaker too.
Hey, what's going on, ABL? This is Keith, man.
It's all good, man. What's happening?
Man, I just wanted to talk about a couple things, man. You know, hey, I got to represent for VA, so it's VA all day, baby.
Yes, indeed. You know it.
You know, you already know. Man, I just wanted to talk about J6 first. I think there's a big, I guess, misconception with what the media's portraying versus what we've seen and what actually happened, right? So certain people were in the ellipse at the time, right? People, I'm sure there's people in the chat that went to the Capitol, and I'm not to the Capitol, but to the speech at that time. And on the ellipse for about, I want to say about 15 minutes or so, cell service cut off for everybody, which was kind of strange. Then we started hearing people talk about, you know, quote unquote, the pipe bombs, different things like that that were there, right? I was actually in a pretty dope spot because there were a bunch of trash cans, and then we had a dude that was in a Batman suit, you know, standing next to us or whatever, and then, you know, people jumping up on top of the porta potties. It was just it was like a festival in our area for real, you know. Of course, a couple people, you know, they had, you know, probably I guess blunts or whatever, and they were smoking or something, and then, you know, other people were out there and drinking and, you know, playing music and things. So it was a different vibe in different places, right? This was closer to the monument itself. So I want to say about a half an hour to 45 minutes in, where right before Trump spoke, we were all standing around, and we started hearing. Now, remind you, this is before Trump spoke. We started hearing people with bullhorns. Like I know there was a dude that was behind me that came with a conga line of like, man, it had to be like 50, 60 people and growing. I mean, these conga lines weren't small by any stretch, right? It was just like, hey, you know, we're going this way. You know, you want to hop on, and then people would hop on and stuff. Because I mean, again, it's a festival, so people just, you know, I guess it's a normalcy bias. You don't really take that into consideration, right? But I'm from Virginia. I got my concealed carry. I'm in DC. I can't carry, so I gotta watch everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like me and my people that I was with, we had to watch everybody. And so we were there listening and things like that. And yeah, again, the guys came around the back with the bullhorn around the back of me, and the guy was screaming, "We're going to the Capitol, we're going to the Capitol, we're going to the Capitol." And I was like, what's going on? And then I'm listening to these people saying this, like they're all chanting like the same thing. Not all of them, but the majority of them, to where it was loud enough, right? And they were all chanting like the same thing, right? And then all of a sudden you see, like, it just seemed like there were some people in that crowd. I don't know how to explain it, bro. It seemed like there was people in that crowd that they were out of place, man. Like they weren't the festival type. They weren't there for that. Like they were there to like start trouble. I know as we walked off the train, right, I was actually 2 cars down on the DC Metro, right, coming from Virginia to go to DC. And the shaman dude was two cars in front of us. The reason why I knew is because when we stepped off, I was like, man, I was talking to my buddy. I was like, man, look at this fool, man. And he was like, man, there's gonna be some wild folks out there. That and that was the extent of the conversation. Right? I ain't take no pictures. I ain't want nothing. I ain't want nothing to do with any of those people. You feel me? So we were just walking up, and I saw we saw him like split off or whatever. But again, it was a bunch of different people with, huge Trump flags, and this one dude again was dressed up as Batman, like the full, the Batman cowl, the cape, and all that. He was on top of the porta potties, and it was just a lot of things that like people really didn't necessarily see everywhere from just being at the ellipse, right? And for the people that were there that purchased anything in DC, I know Bank of America, started hitting people up that I knew. I don't particularly have Bank of America, but they were hitting up people that I knew that I was with. And, they were just kind of talking about it in email form, So there's a lot of things that the media didn't really say. There's a lot of things that a lot of people aren't able to come out with because it's not, I guess, quote unquote, relevant information to kind of get back at the J6 committee or what have you. But, that was just something I just wanted to kind of bring to everybody's attention. That there were people there that were trying to do bad things, and there were people there that were trying to gather and organize people. So all this, like, Ray Epps ain't real, or he's part of whatever. That doesn't matter, because all I know is that I've seen these people, and like what feds look like. They look different, dog. They stand out. They don't look the same. They don't look like us. So and that's pretty much all I wanted to say. And also, man, Ja Morant, ABL is Ja Morant is Nunu from ATL.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Correct. Nunu, man. He's Nunu. Hey, shout out to the chat, man. Y'all always keep it live. ABL, my brother. Hey, keep doing your thing, man. I'm going to holler at you.
Thanks for the call, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Great call. Fantastic call. All right. Let's get to some more here. Let's go to 859. Your line, speaker 2.
Hey, what's up? How's it going, ABL? I'm happy to be on the air. How's it going, bud? From 859, Hey, I was going to ask you a question, bud.
All righty.
Well, have you been invited to, like, the Joe Rogan Experience, or, Louder for Crowder, or, I would love to see you in Joe Rogan. It would be, or like, the Tim Cast, one of their shows. That'd be awesome. Have you been offered before about it or have you tried to pursue that?
I've not been offered, but if they ask me to go, I go for sure.
Oh, definitely, dude. I would love to see you at the Joe Rogan Experience. I would love to see you, dude. Go to do a Tim Cast podcast with him. That'd be awesome, because I watch those guys. I watch you. I listen to Joe Rogan almost every day. He helps me calm down. I work 2 jobs, a blue collar kind of guy and stuff like that. By the way, I like making memes. I made a few memes on my channel for you, so.
Yeah. It's all good, man.
When it also, at the same time, I'm kind of like doing it. Hey, much love, man. I love watching your shows, bro. Keep on keeping on, bro.
Thanks for the call, man. I appreciate you.
Much love.
All right, shout out to the caller. All right, Victor, what's going on?
Hey, thanks for taking my call.
No problem, man.
Man, Chris Rock came out with a flamethrower.
He sure did, didn't he?
Yes. The worst thing you can do is to give a comedian some time, some minutes.
Oh, yeah, because he most certainly used that time, not only time to do his show, but time to think, like a whole year to come up with a whole routine and just lay it out there.
Yeah. People also don't realize how smart Chris Rock handled this situation. You mentioned this in your video. I believe when the incident happened, and when people were wondering why he's not talking, I believe I read a report where he said that he's not saying anything unless he gets paid.
Yep. Smart man, because he knows that that's going to be a hot thing. People want it, they'll pay for it. So it's like, all right, I'm going to just use that. I won't be no charges pressed. I'm not going to sue you, but I'm going to get paid for sure.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just look at the difference between how Chris Rock handled the situation and what happened to Will Smith. With Will Smith, yeah, he won the Oscar award, which I believe they should have never gave him that award after that incident, but I digress. He lost money from it. And then look at Chris Rock. He not only he gave money from that performance, he also got money from Netflix, millions of dollars off of that.
Yep, sure did.
Yeah. Have you seen the new April from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Yeah, man, I saw that. I was like, come on. And the race swap thing is one thing, but then they made it look kind of dumpy. It's like, what? Why? I don't understand this direction. I don't get it.
Yeah, I'm wondering, should black women be mad about it? Because yeah, you have representation, but they put in a stereotype.
They sure did. I think that I'd be kind of upset. Like this is not a good look. Like April Jones, like she was always pretty and all this and that. Why can't it just have, if they're gonna do the race swap, make her be pretty?
Yeah.
Still, I don't really. It's weird.
Yeah. It also shows that at this point, black people do need to realize that when are we going to just stop doing the race swap? Because right now it's just looking like it's intellectually lazy. Black people talk about how they always creative and every other race take their style. But when you're doing this race swap, you're not bringing out any type of creativity at all.
Exactly. Like create a new character, do something original rather than just swapping the race. It's kind of a cheap trick, and it's kind of like a way to get people to be invested into it. It's kind of cheesy to me.
Yeah. The last one, I wish JJ Redick answered Kendrick Perkins question. Is it one mic or Uchawali? I'm still trying to figure it out. And I'm thinking that picking Uchawali will be a bad thing.
Right, yeah.
but with people who don't understand what Kendrick Perkins means about Uchawale and one mic, Nas is known about making meaningful lyrics like one mic. When he made Uchawale, which is a sex song, that was we were baffled about it, and we were like, man, this song is not that good. But anyway, it's what's at this point, when are we going to get over the race thing? What you pointed out on your Twitter is people do not like to call out the other race. When you on your Twitter, you mentioned how it was a bunch of white women that's bringing their children to the drag show, and you said that is it proper to call out the other race, like how when we talk about violence, we always talk about one group of race, which is the black people, right?
Yep.
Yeah, but when we always want to see, when we always see our same race, we don't want to talk about it. Same thing with Kendrick Perkins, or doing with a lot of what the ESPN do. They always want to call out that one race, but when they see the same race, they don't want to call it out at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But anyway, that's all I gotta say. Thanks for taking my call.
Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate you.
All right. Bye.
Great call. Shout out to Victor for the call. Yeah, because on my Twitter, I was referencing like there's a bunch of videos that are being posted, and it was like, okay, look at the pattern of the black on white violence. I'm like, okay, we can see the pattern, But then when you see some of these LGBTQ LMNOP videos of these big drag queens dancing in front of a bunch of kids, it's like, well, there's a dynamic there too. If you're going to talk about race, let's talk about it for real. People sometimes, they talk about race. That's why I don't like having racial conversations a lot, because people don't talk about it completely. They talk about things that just support their already, it supports their views already, rather than just speaking about it in a way that is complete. They talk about it in a half a way. 3 or 4 you online. What's speaking to?
Hey, ABL. Let me pause you. It's your favorite Georgian/West Virginia calling in. I ain't called in a couple of weeks. I got one thing I'm going to speak on that you actually spoke on tonight, and then I got a couple other just brief questions. But on the whole Mexico thing, when I graduated high school in 2004, I graduated when I was 17. But there was a group of us went to Cancun, Mexico for our graduation trip. And when we were flying, we left out of Atlanta, and we flew straight to the closest airport to Cancun. I don't know the name of the airport, but whenever they say buckle up, prepare for landing, I look out the window and it looks like a sidewalk in the middle of a jungle or a forest or something. I'm like, that's where we're landing. I'm assuming, and it sure enough was. Well, we land, and leaving out a Hartsfield-Jackson and landing in a small airport like that. I mean, they didn't have, I forget what they're called, the little terminal things that connect the plane to the actual airport. They had the roll up stairs, like they had the Mexicans rolling the stairs up, and you walk down the stairs. Well, we went through an actual travel agency, so we were looked after. But he was telling us, when you get into the airport, which this was in June, early June, no AC in the airport or anything, and he's telling us there's going to be a bunch of people trying to get you to exchange your money from American money, to pesos or Mexican money. And he's just like, don't do it unless you've done your homework on the exchange rate or whatever. Well, anyways, I didn't do that because most of Cancun, they got Domino's, they got a Walmart, they got everything. Like, it's a tourist destination, so they all take pretty well American money. But as soon as we get through the airport and we get to the other side of the airport, this little Mexican guy, he grabs my bag and he just takes off running with it.
Oh,
right.
man.
So I'm thinking my luggage just got stolen as soon as I got here. Well, I'm chasing after him, and then I look behind me, and there's these people that are doing the same thing to the rest of the group. They take us exactly to our little bus that we were scheduled to get on, which we had no clue. And then he takes you there to the steps of the bus, and he's like, tip, tip, tip. I'm like, tips. No, Tip, you about to get these hands, what you about to get. But I didn't know that he knew exactly where I was going before I even landed.
Yep.
And while we were there, we kind of got it was like I think about 15 of us total went, but there was like 5 of us in a group one night, and we were out, we were doing our thing. And we kind of got lured to go to this little flea market, and there was like a cattle gate in front of it, and the guy that would let you in through the cattle gate, he was trying to sell us cocaine, and he was dressed up as like an officer, like a law officer.
Wow.
Or something. And I didn't really want to speak on what we should do as far as what happened to those people down there, because that is another country. They operate in different ways, so I don't really think it's up to Americans to enforce the law south of the border.
Right.
But whenever we need to stop them from coming over here, and people do need to be aware of when you go over there, and you don't know exactly where you're going. And what the story I'm telling you is, reminds you it was in Cancun. All this stuff happened. So if you're going to just go cross the border in some, just some podunk little town, you don't know what's going to happen there. And I don't think it's up to our government or our law enforcement or whoever to enforce law down there. That's their country, but more or less to warn people not to do it.
Right on. Exactly. I'm right there with you.
But I also wanted to ask you if you saw the video of Biden walking across the Selma Bridge.
I saw that. That was a complete mess.
Did you see how he was being held up and his legs looked like, his knees didn't even look like they would bend. He was kind of just like scooting and shuffling across. Like, and he had a person on each of his arms as if he couldn't walk on his own.
I mean, truthfully, they were all looking like they were pretty old. So,
well, there was one guy in a wheelchair, and then the two people on his arms and his feet were like barely raising off the ground, like he was just shuffling across there. It just wasn't a good look.
It wasn't.
And since then, we haven't heard from him in 3 days. And I saw what's his name that's always getting on, Jean-Pierre Ducey.
Yeah.
Ask her, or it wasn't actually Ducey that asked the question, it was someone else. She's like, where's Biden been? Like, what's he been up to? And she just laughed the question off, like, how dare you ask what our president's doing? He's always working. He's always looking out for the American people. But it seems to me like that little walk across the bridge, wore him out, so to speak.
I think you're right about that for sure, because he was looking pretty much like he was done after that.
Yeah. And he hasn't been seen or heard from in 3 days since.
Right.
But I was watching another. Did you hear about Crowder? I guess he signed some big contract for Rumble.
I saw that. Yes, I did.
They ever come at you asking for a contract, maybe to possibly spend more time over there and possibly leaving where you're at?
No, I've not gotten that offer.
Oh. Well, I was just curious about that, but yeah, that's all I had to say.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, well, thank you.
All right, shout out to my man for the call. I have the video. I said in my caption, excuse me. My caption might be a little bit too spicy. You want to read it? Okay, hold on. I said, bring the hoses back. Is that too much? Did I go too far? Hold on. Let me just put it up right quick, though. All right. I got it over here. So bring the hoses back. And let's get a little bit of sound. Hold on. Let's not maximize it because you guys can't see that. Let's just play it normally. This was a mess. A total mess. You got Al Sharpton. Is that Messy Jesse over there? I don't know who that is. It's like, man, bring the hoses back. Get them out of here. Like, this is voting rights. Y'all can't vote? Like, what are you talking about? This ain't 1965. This is 2023. Like, this is a complete mess. I'm not really sure why they were out there marching like that, because the people in the front are old, like way too old to be out there trying to walk and lead the crowd and holding hands and locking arms. And you see Jesse over here walking like over this wheelchair. One false move, they go down like dominoes. I'm talking about like, you see those like elaborate domino displays where you just hit one and then like 1,000 fall. That'd be pretty much what goes on here. This is a whole big mess. You know, race grifters, hucksters, all kind of stuff. Who is that? Is that Jesse right there? Is that him? I know that's Al Sharpton right there. Is that Jesse? Who is that in the wheelchair? The man, he looks like he pretty much dead in that chair. He's not even really moving. This is crazy, man. Like, I'm through with that. I'm through with that. Let's go on to the next. Let's get some more calls here. All right, let me get my Skype back up. Alrighty, Les, what's going on?
Hey, ABL, how are you?
It's all good. About yourself?
Good, good. That video you displayed from the scene of Selma, it felt so funny because as soon as I saw El Sharpton, I was like, is that El Sharpton? And you're like, there goes El Sharpton. I was like, oh God. He's in all the right places at the right time.
It sure is.
So I wanted to actually, of course, comment on this whole Mexico and these Americans that were taken hostage, and there was 2 that were lost, correct? 2 were recovered, 2 were lost, right?
That's right.
So I don't care what you're trying to do. You can go for veneers. You can try to go out there for any types of cosmetic surgeries, anything at all. Honestly, if you don't really know any trusted family members out there in Mexico, do not go to Mexico. I say this all the time. Take this advice from a Mexican. Just don't go out there. It is so dangerous, ABL. It's not even a joke. Like, people, as soon as you land at that airport, the whole Mexico, it is run by the cartels. President is owned by the cartel. Every single person there, not every single person, but the majority of the people, I like to make it a little bit more dramatic. The majority of people are owned and run by the cartels. So as soon as you land there, you know, all these people, they obviously know you're not from Mexico, you're tourists. So even at the airport, they're connected. They're calling up their connects. It's like people are getting paid just by basically letting you know, hey, I got some Americans here or some, you know, foreigners. Obviously, they don't belong to Mexico. And people get paid off of stuff like that. So, I mean, save the heartache, the stress, even that possibility of becoming abducted and then, you know, pretty much not even coming back. You know, lucky those 2 individuals that ended up coming back. I mean, a lot of the times you don't see that happening. So don't go to Mexico. Again, I'm going to stress it one more time. ABL, everybody in the chat, do not go to Mexico. I don't care what the reason, stay the heck out of Mexico. Now, I had some family members that did ask me, you know, like, when would you want to come to Mexico? But these family members live more like on the Beverly side hills of like the Mexico, like very gated and everything. So I told them, you know, I wouldn't mind visiting, you know, Los Cabos. I think that's a little bit more nicer just because you see it, you know, out there in social media, it looks really nice, right? Pictures and all that. And they even said it, don't travel by yourself. If you're ever interested in going, please let us know. We'll pick you up from the airport. We'll pretty much go on vacation with you just because that's how dangerous it is. So again, don't go to Mexico. Now, now that I stressed that one so much, I wanted to go ahead and give that comment on the what was it with the whole Chris Rock and the Will Smith thing. ABL, I know you had covered this a while ago, but again, I'm going to make this comment one more time. Chris Rock does not owe any loyalty to Will and Jada's marriage. Jada is the one who owes that loyalty, not only to Will, but, you know, vice versa, Will to Jada. So I thought it was very wrong. It was so out of line for Will to even do that. I know I commented this on the last time you covered this on your live as well. But I think we need to cover grounds again and pretty much state the obvious that it was totally wrong. It was messed up. And, you know, and then you have Will, because you have Will on Jada's, like, whatever little, like, talk show thing, like, looking so sad as Jada's over there, you know, basically talking down at him, like, it was because of you. And, you know, this is why I did this and stuff like that. Like, that is so low. But I mean, it's basically showing you, you know, in reality, like, where they're at in their marriage, you know. And then ABL, the whole, what was that? Oh, the whole Antifa thing. You know what? How many times have we said it over and over, ABL, that they are a domestic terrorist organization? And I honestly hope that all those individuals that were getting charged with the domestic terrorist with domestic terrorist charges, I really hope it does stick and that just starts really falling more into like a domino effect for all other states around, that we have to take this more seriously and we do not play around. Again, we should be protected. Our security should be very high here in the States. It's for our, I mean, all American citizens want this, that safety, whether it's foreign or domestic terrorism. But in regards to Antifa, I'm very happy that, you know, they're pushing back, especially in those two states. And man, God bless America, right, ABL? I hope they just start cracking down more. And, you know, these are just the examples of it. But we need to hear more stories and more pushback, especially from all these states, just so that, you know, again, we just can't let that happen. I would love to see BLM there, though, too.
That's right. Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's it, ABL. That's all I wanted to comment. Great show. I hope you have a wonderful night till Saturday. God bless you. God bless the chat. And the Little Patriots want to say good night.
Good night.
Good night, y'all. Thank y'all.
Bye, ABL. Take care.
All right. Great call as always. Thank y'all for being here yet again. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these internets. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Yeah. Shout out to you guys. You guys are always good in the chat here. All right. Let's go. You're online speaking to 757.
Hey, ABL, this is Easy. How are you?
Everything's all right about yourself?
Good, man. Hey, I just wanted to listen to the show, man. I just wanted to, first of all, shout out to you and thank you for doing what you do. Also, shout out to, I'm out here in Southside Richmond, Virginia, so I really heard what you were talking about with the lobby day. So I just want to remind everybody that happens every year. It's basically, it has something to do with the lawmakers, like when they meet, it's kind of our way to kind of support the 2A movement and all that kind of stuff. So anybody can come. It's always fun. People are out there with some crazy guns. Everybody's armed to the teeth, and it's just really cool. It's just people out there talking guns. So I encourage people to check that out if they're curious about it. About the Mexico thing, man, you know, I just want to remind people that the cartel is here. Like, all these people coming over the border, they're not, I mean, it's not everybody's above board, right? Like, some people are not just normal people looking for a better life. And with the numbers that are coming over, it's a lot of people, man. And the cartel's here. They're among us. They're up in the mountains in California growing pot and everything else. They're in our neighborhood, and that changes the level of collaboration, right? So now this cartel guy, and I know this sounds extravagant, but it's just real. Now this cartel guy is my neighbor, and we're outside drinking beers. And next thing you know, the conversation changes. And I don't believe that was anything about a BBL. I think that was who goes to Mexico with some other people and doesn't tell their wife. Of course she didn't know anything, air quotes. I don't know why he was there, because she didn't want to be implicated. So it would not surprise me if that whole thing was a setup. They probably went down there for a whole different reason and just got, basically, in my opinion.
That's definitely possible, because, you know, the whole thing about the BBL is like, okay, well, why do you need 4 people? Why were you in this van? Why'd you go that way? Like, it didn't make a lot of sense. And then the president, I think, said that they were down there for medicine. So it's just kind of like conflicting reports. Right. I just think that there was something else going on. Maybe they weren't even all aware of what was happening, but I think there might have been more to the story.
Yeah. And then, you know, the Ja Morant, it's unfortunate, man, because that kind of glamorization of that type of lifestyle, it's just not a good look. You know, I mean, you are a role model and kids do look up to you. So when you're in the club showing off with your gun, it's just, he probably already knows, but it's just not a good look. And I think that, in my own opinion, that's a little bit adds to the oppression, I feel like, of black people. Like, what are you doing out here? Like, you're representing us, or not us, but black people. And that's just, like, why is that the image that you're portraying?
Yeah, not good at all.
It's not, you know, like, it's one thing. You can show a video of yourself in a club having a good time, and that's a totally different vibe. You know what I'm saying? Nothing's wrong with that. But then you're a tough guy now with a gun in a club, and I don't know. It's kind of AI vibes, like Allen Iverson vibes a little bit. And I'm a fan of Allen Iverson back in the day, but, you know, he was on the edge a little bit.
Yeah, Iverson, he had some issues, like, before he came to the league, really, like, because, you know, I'm from Virginia. He's from Virginia, too. I remember when he got into trouble with the bowling alley incident. I remember that back in the day. And then there was always, like, a little bit of drama here and there in the league. And, you know, Ja Morant definitely is kind of going down that direction.
So then the next thing was, you know, so I was in federal law enforcement when I was younger, and I've been around a couple different presidents, not real close, but various security details and that sort of thing. Just the image of our president marching with people that close around him. Like, can you think of any other president that's really been that close to the public, like literally crowded around him like that?
That was a little something different there. I can't remember seeing anything quite like that before.
I just think it kind of speaks to a little bit of the manipulation of people. And, you know, some people, I think it's showing like a specific effort. And I think some folks are seeing that as, you know, maybe he's for the people, so to speak. But I don't know. It just feels super manipulative. And I just can't think of any image in my head of any president in my life that's just had people that close to him, you know, like walking crowded around him. I just think it's just really, I don't really know what he's trying to do.
Yeah, it's kind of strange to me too.
I'm sorry. And then the last thing was, you know, the Chris Rock, Will Smith. You know, I don't know, man. All I can say is they're actors, you know, and there's a lot of money involved. I don't think that was organic. I think that not too many people would get slapped like that and just say, wow. You know what I'm saying? Like, he literally just said, wow, with a smile. Maybe he's super professional because of that, but I just think he was expecting it. I just think the whole thing was.
Nah, I don't think so,
publicity.
because of the way that the whole thing happened. I don't think so, because like the fallout and because all it did was just hurt Will Smith's career, and Will Smith got to understand, like, if you go into it thinking you're gonna do something like that on stage, you don't want it to hurt your career. You would have come out and said that it was a bit and all this and that. It just damaged him. Like, he had movies stopped. They stopped Bad Boys 4. Like, it stopped a bunch of motion that was going on in his life. So there's no benefit to him doing that, you know?
That's fair. I see that. So I just wanted to say those things, man, and just share my thoughts, and just want to shout out to everybody that you just have great listeners, man. And it's fun hearing the people call in. And for the Chicago police officer, please don't think that I'm just teasing with the mustache, so I don't want you to take it any kind of way. It's funny to think about that whole, like, the Bears. But anyway, man, thanks for what you do, and I look forward to listening to you in the future.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
All right, man.
All right, shout out to the caller. Thank you. Let's go.
Hey,
4-7. Oh, your line was speaking to you.
Hey, Anthony. Hey, it's Fred from Wild and Wacky Atlanta. How are you, sir?
Everything's right, man. Can't complain.
You hear that?
Yeah, I'm hearing some chaos in the background.
Well, that's Atlanta. That's Cop City.
Oh, okay. That's a Cop City. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, man. The police are shooting up Antifa. It's great. Yeah, taken out about 47 of them so far.
There you go.
Anyway, yeah, man, that's pretty crazy. This Cop City thing is costing $90 million to create.
Wow.
It's insane. I don't know what they're going to do with $90 million there. I'm guessing they're going to build several buildings there and simulate a small little town or whatever. They're going to make it so big that they can practice high-speed chases and, I don't know, urban fighting or whatever, probably to fight these bastards. So, yeah, you already shot one of them about, what was it, 2-3 months ago?
Yeah, one of them got shot and killed.
Yeah, well, F around and find out. You know how it goes.
That's right.
So, I mean, these guys are going to lose. You're not going to take on the cops and win. They're really stupid for doing it. So I hope they keep it up so we can get rid of Antifa. Anyway, about these Americans that got killed in Mexico, was it like 2 days ago?
I think 2 or 3. I think it might have been 3 days ago. Like it might have happened 2 or 3 days ago, and then at a certain point, the Americans died. I'm not really sure about the exact day.
Yes, I found out yesterday one of them went down there for an ass lift and ended up getting shot.
I mean, that's what they say.
I mean,
that's what they say, but I'm not sure that's correct. I mean, because
oh yeah, you think it's drugs?
I mean, it could be. I've heard all kind of things. They're saying that it was a butt lift, a tummy tuck, medicine. It's all kind of stuff. So, and then my thing is, even if she was down there for that, why were the other people down there? Why do you need 4 people to go with you? It was just kind of weird. I think there's more to the story.
Yeah, didn't you say they were strangers? None of them knew each other?
Now, I don't know about that part. I've not heard that.
Okay, I thought that's what you said earlier. I'm sorry, maybe that's my mistake. But yeah, I don't want to go to Mexico at all after what's happened, especially the last couple of years. Even more so after this last incident a few days ago. There's a guy back in I think it was 1999 who went down there for college spring break. Went to a club, and he was with I don't know 4 or 5 friends. Got separated from his friends in the club. Went outside to try to find them, and a white van pulls up. These guys come out with badges, phony badges. Took him in and kidnapped him, and he ended up getting killed in a shed. They cut his spine out. He fell into the hands of some devil worshipping drug gang or whatever. He's really sick. So the parents finally, they called to find out where their kid was because he was, of course, missing. Contacted this one cop, and he was a good cop. He says, I promise you I'll find your friend. Your son. Ended up finding him 3, 4, 5 weeks later, but he was killed in that shed. They cut his spine out and used it for some kind of weird effed up, drug / devil worshipping ritual. So they took the guys that killed him and made him dig him up, his body up at machine gun point. So pretty wild.
That's crazy.
Just thought I'd share that with you because the story reminded me of that incident. So yeah, gotta be careful. I've traveled all over Europe by myself before for 23 years and never had any problems, but third world country is a whole different ball game down there, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So anyway, all right, man, that's all I want to say. Thanks a lot. Keep it up. I appreciate your the good work that you're doing. And I just want to let you know that you've made a difference in my life as well as lives of probably about 50,000 other people or more that listen to you.
Well, thank you for that, man. It means a lot to me. I appreciate that.
I'm glad. Thank you, man. Take care.
Same to you.
See you. Bye.
Great call. Shout out to the caller. I love calls like that. When people just tell me how I've impacted them, I appreciate it. All right. The number to call is 434-658-1220. You guys have been fantastic tonight, as always. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. 504, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. It's Alien Spaceship.
All righty, man. What's happening?
I have some things to say. I have a friend that he's American, but he had some relatives from Mexico. And he was telling me about how Mexico is a very dangerous place and corrupted, like what the other callers are saying. And I've never been to Mexico. My senior year, my class did go to, some people in my class went on a cruise to Mexico. I could have went, but I went on a different trip with my friends. And so basically I can confirm from what I know that it's bad down there.
Yeah.
Right. And also, yeah, I think that it's very treasonous what the government and our government officials are doing with like the different things in the country, the way Antifa is being handled, like in Atlanta, and how these people are just going all over the place doing stuff, and with Ukraine and all. It's just really terrible. It's very treasonous, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's really a mess, and you know, at a certain point, I think the American people are going to say, you know what, no more of this kind of stuff.
Right. Do you know around your region if there's like an issue with police in schools, that they want to take police out of schools? Do you know about something like this?
I've not heard that. I'm not really sure about police being taken out of schools. I don't know. Like where I live, it's a pretty cool area. It's not like an anti-cop environment here, so that's probably not an issue here.
Okay, because yeah, I heard, and I could go look back and see. I'll send you something if I find something about it. But in that region, some of the liberals are trying to put some activism about getting the police out of schools. But as I said, I'll send you if I find the information. And also, I want to have now, in my opinion, I feel that like what Biden is causing race relations to get worse. Do you agree with that?
Well, it's Biden, but also just the administration and a lot of people that are in Congress, Senate, school board. Like it's and also the mainstream media and entertainment. Like they're all kind of working in concert to do this.
Yeah. And I think, as Candace Owens put it, that they're just want to keep them on the plantation. And I think also they're doing it intentionally to cause race relations to get worse. Now, I remember, earlier we were talking about, you in the chat, we were all talking about how a lot of these Antifa people are not from the region that they're raiding. This was in New Orleans, my area, and the other people's areas. And it reminds me of, in the Russian Revolution, a lot of the people went from New York to Moscow to do the burning of the churches and stuff. So I don't know why they do that, but it does seem like the left recruits people not from the native region, but from other regions.
Oh yeah, because it's they're professionals. They're like mercenaries, and they probably go from place to place. Like they know what to do. They know how to operate. They know how to do certain things, how to operate with the police, and yeah, they're trusted, and it's their job to do this. They're not even really just recruited for each time. It's like they probably work all over the place doing the exact same thing. That's why they were from all over the country and all over the world. You had a French person and a Canadian person.
Yeah, it's a big network of people. And, I remember one of my relatives were saying about how around my area, they saw some strange looking people. Nothing happened here, but there could be spies around different areas, I think.
Yeah, I would say so.
Right. Also, yeah, I'll say with Will Smith, I liked him when I was young with the Alien movie he did, The Men in Black, and all. But yeah, he definitely made a terrible mistake by slapping the guy in the face.
That was totally crazy. I mean, completely ridiculous. I mean, he can't live it down because you do something like that on the Oscar stage in front of the whole world. Bad, all bad.
Right. And also, I like to, I'm an enthusiast with technology, and I'll eventually do my own live stuff. I was wondering what kind of like soundboards do you use? I was just curious.
Well, all I have is just my mixer. This is a Rode. I'm gonna tell you the wrong thing. It's a Rode Procaster, I think. Let me make sure. It's the Rodecaster. Pardon me. It's the Rodecaster. You don't need this really. I have it, but I have it because I got like a big production. But really, when I first started, I just had like a solo. What was that? It was a Scarlett Solo. Yeah, a Scarlett Solo. It's just an interface to use an XLR mic, or you could just use a regular microphone and plug it up straight to your computer. I have another microphone just like this. This is a Shure SM7B. There's also the Shure MV7 that has a USB input. So if you got a laptop, all you need to do is just get a little stand, plug up the microphone, run into the computer through USB, and it'll work just fine. So all of what I have right here is cool, but you don't need to have it, in my opinion.
All right. Thank you for your thoughts. Also, you use Skype.
Yeah, I use Skype for my phone number and also for people when they call in through video. But I could also, like I did before, when we had a little Skype problem, I could use Google Voice because everything just comes through the desktop audio. So I could hear you like that. I could hear Google Voice like that. I could hear about the YouTube videos like that. It all comes through the desktop audio channel, and they can hear me through the microphone. And also, one more thing. What I use to stream is OBS. That's very important. That's going to be really your mixer and everything right there. That's going to tell you, you can have in your desktop audio, your microphone audio. You can adjust the levels and do all that good stuff right in OBS. I set up my setting here with the flag in the background and the little boxes in OBS as well. So that's a very important tool, and it's free.
Okay, thank you for that. And before I go, I'll say that with a lot of the liberal organizations are trying to do stuff like and slander farmers and things. And also, I've recently learned that the chickens don't have hormones in them, and the government regulates it where the chickens don't have stuff in it, like hormones in it. I learned.
Oh, well, I didn't know that. It's news to me.
Right, and yeah, and they let them walk around and stuff, and basically. Yeah, I think, the left is up to shady stuff, and it's good that we're exposing it. Thank you for the information. You do very great, and I'm glad I found your channel around the 2020 election, I believe. Yeah, okay. Thank you for taking my call.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
Okay, bye.
All right, shout out, man, for the call. Great call. Oh, one more thing. Somebody asked me what my camera is. This is a Sony A6700. 6700. So a Sony Alpha DSLR, and I have it hooked up to my computer through my computer setup is a little bit different. You can use two different things. You can use a Elgato capture card, like a little device like that. But I have a custom PC that I built, so I got an internal PCIe card. I have this is an Elgato 4K Capture Pro, I think. Let me see if I can find that right quick. Yeah, this is the Elgato Game Capture 4K 60 Pro. And basically, this is an internal card. Let me show it to you right quick. I'm gonna show you different kind of ones you can get, and then I get back to the calls. This is just a little ABL tech time right quick. Y'all hang tight. Y'all hang on tight. I'm gonna just get right back to the calls in a moment. Let me not show the Amazon one. Can be doing that. Okay, there we go. Okie dokie. So check it out. Let's check this out. So if you got like a regular laptop or something like that, this would be what you use. A Ghetto Cam Link. So one end of that you could plug into your computer. If you have a regular old school USB, what's that? USB-A? I don't know. If you have one of those, you could plug it up and then plug in your HDMI from your camera there. So this captures the signal and converts it so where you can use it like this. Okay. Now what I have is this. This is an internal card that I put into my computer, and it won't show you the there it is. You see, that's going to be what you see on the back of your computer. I could just plug it in right there. Now mine is different than this. I have four inputs on the back of mine. So mine's a little bit different. I could put a bunch of cameras on this, make it be a whole big setup. But if you just, for the first time, they are expensive if you see the price. But if you're for the first time just trying to get something cracking, honestly, you could use your phone. When I first started, I had no camera, no nothing. All I had was just voice on pictures. And I just upgraded over the years. But you don't have to. You got an iPhone, use that. You can record like that. But if you really want to get this whole big setup and everything, you could do that. But I wouldn't recommend that for a person just starting out. Start small and grow big. All right. When I first started, I had just an old Mac computer, an iMac that was 10 years old, a BlackBerry phone with a physical keyboard. Okay. And all I would do is just record voice notes on my BlackBerry and upload the voice note on Bluetooth to my old Apple computer and put just pictures on it, and that was my video. Then I got a webcam for like $100 or $75 or something like that. Then I kept going as time progresses. Decoy voice says I still record on phone. There you go. And I see you got a verified channel. See what I'm saying? People just, a lot of times people get caught up in the things they should get, and they try to focus on that rather than the content. Get the content out. Don't worry about all this stuff right here. This is cool to have, but you don't really need it. 615 you're online with my speaker too.
Hey, what up, ABL? It's Boomhauer, man. How you doing?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
Man, I gotta ask straight up. I just want to ask 100% question to you, man. And here we go. So when you were on the left, if somebody would have came up to you, and just be honest, I want to hear 100% honesty from you for real. If somebody would have came up to you and said, "Hey, if you do all this race grifting, you will make millions and millions of dollars," would you would have done it, or would you bounced out and came to our side back then? I'm asking you how your mentality was back then, before how it is today. Now we know how it is today, but if they would have approached you back in the day, would you have done it, or what would have happened?
Well, if they would have approached me back when I was still liberal, yeah, I would have done it because I believed in it at that point when I was like 21, 22. Yeah, of course, because I was right there. Now, if you would have approached me knowing what I know now, when I got to be like in my mid to late 20s, nah, because I knew at that point that I wasn't that way. Whatever I'm aligned with, I'm going to roll with it. If I'm not aligned with it, then I can't do nothing with it. That's just pretty much how I've always been.
Okay, so golly, man, like that video that you showed, I haven't seen it until you showed it a while ago. Everybody looked like they were holding each other up. Like it looked like it looked like a puppet show. Remember back in the day, they had a little stick. They had a little stick with all the little puppets dancing and stuff, going in their back or whatever. Man, that's what it looked like. Biden looked like he was on a stick. Your boy Al Sharpton looked like he had a little stick too. And Jesse Jackson, man, looked like they dug him up, man. If that was him, I don't even know if that was him. Do you know if that was him in that wheelchair?
Man, it looked like him, but I can't tell. If it was him, he pretty much didn't met the man upstairs at this point.
Dude, yeah, he done went up there and talked to him and then came back down. I don't know what that was. He looked gray. I don't know who that was. I don't know if that was Uncle Jerry or who that was, but I don't know if it was Jesse Jackson. He was jacked up. But man, I was just wondering because man, you had a video you put out today about the NBA where I don't know who the dude. Sorry, I don't know who the guy was. I don't know what his name was, but he was race grifting on the whole NBA MVP thing. I totally see. After I watched it, I seen what you were talking about with the whole Steve Nash thing. I totally got that. You explained it perfectly with the whole why would Steve Nash get it when XYZ, everybody knows Kobe should have got it, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? But that dude obviously getting paid to race grift. Like, every time you turn around, race grift, race grift, race grift, race grift, race. It's ridiculous, man. It is so old. It's getting old, man. I don't know how much older it can get, man. We're digging it. They're digging it up. They're digging it and digging it and digging it up. It's old, man. I'm so sick of hearing it, man. I don't even know what the next subject is going to be because the race grifting is so old. But in saying that, I saw a video today on Hodge Twins where this black girl was in tears, crying, talking about they're bringing back, that she saw on the news that they were actually bringing back Jim Crow laws. And she said, they're bringing back slavery, y'all. And she's crying, freaking out, doing TikToks about this, man. It's ridiculous, man. These TikToks are out of control. The people, this new age of, Gen Z, I don't even know, but they're so easily entertained, man. You could tell them anything and it'll flip their little brain and they just fall into everything. As soon as you put it on TV, they see it, they fall for it. You see what I'm saying?
That's right. You're right.
It's ridiculous, man. But the race grift's got to go, brother. It's got to go. It's a wrap. It's a wrap on that, and it's a wrap on my call, man. I want to say why you got me on here. Appreciate you throwing out the happy birthday, man. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Her name's Dallas. She's grown, man. She's 21 years old, man. I did what they asked me to do. I did what the good Lord asked me to do, and I raised that little girl for as long as I had her. And she graduated college. She got a job at a hospital, at a mental hospital. Didn't like that one, and now she's got a job at an actual hospital now. She loves it. She just got her very first apartment on her own, and she is engaged now, and me and my wife are going up there, and tomorrow my wife is going wedding dress shopping with her, and it's a blessing, man. It's one of them things where when they say you can't have kids, and then something out of nowhere gives you one, and we got her, we helped her, we saved her, and in another way she kind of saved us, you know, and it is what it is, and I want to say happy birthday. Her name is Dallas. So happy birthday, Dallas. We love you. Thanks to ABL for taking my call.
Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate it.
Peace out.
Shouts to my man, Boomhauer. I could just hear the love he has for his daughter. So shout out to Dallas. Happy birthday again. Enjoy yourself. 21 years old. That's a milestone. So shout out to you. Shout out to you. You got a good mom and dad over there. So shout out to you for sure.
My wife are going up there, and tomorrow.
Hello, can you hear me?
ABL, it's your retired Chicago police officer friend. I'm glad you got to me this week. And first of all, I'm not mad about anything about the mustache or anything else. I have a sense of humor. There's no reason to be apologizing to me. I wanted to say something about that Antifa, ABL. Antifa is a domestic terrorist organization. That's what Antifa is. I have personally arrested 2 Antifa guys. I told you this story before, ABL. I arrested 2 Antifa guys. They both had handguns on them, weapons at 3 o'clock in the morning, over by the 911 center, scoping that out before those riots. So to me, they're a domestic terrorist organization. If I may give, not to be a know-it-all, but if I may give a little history lesson to everybody listening, in the 60s, the Students for a Democratic Society during the Vietnam War, universities were protesting the Vietnam War and Nixon during the 1960s. And there was an organization, the Students for a Democratic Society. They would have sit-ins. They would close down the schools and things like that. There was a knockoff of them, a branch of them, that was called the Weathermen Underground. It was partly from a Bob Dylan song, to know which way the wind blows. You have to be a weatherman to know which way the wind blows. So the Weathermen organization, they were domestic terrorists. They actually said that you have to take force in order to get change to happen in society. So what they did is they were bombing FBI buildings. They were bombing buildings at these universities, and they blew themselves up in New York. They were in a townhouse in New York, and they blew themselves up making bombs. And a couple of those members of the Weathermen Underground, they went on the lam for more than 30 years. Bill Ayers and his wife, Bernadette Dorn. These two, after 30 years, came out of hiding. They were forgiven for everything they did during the 1960s because we're 30 years down the road. They became university professors here at Bill Ayers was from Chicago. He became a professor at the University of Illinois at Chicago Circle campus. His wife was a professor, and that's who's teaching our children, those kind of people, domestic terrorism. These Antifa people, they think they're like these protesters in the 60s. They think they're on the side of right and that bombing and violence is the way to get change. But to me, they're just domestic terrorists. So that's the history of Antifa. So Antifa is always going to be violent because they're born from violence. They believe in violence. That's what they believe in order to overthrow the government and to get their way. So to me, they're just, violent people. Black Lives Matter is a little different. It's kind of a scam. Some people are violent, but for the most part, it's just a scam organization as opposed to a domestic terrorist organization. In my mind, that's what it is. So that's enough on that Atlanta thing. The Chris Rock thing I thought was hilarious. I thought, Chris Rock had a right to say what he wanted to say. I watched some reaction videos on that. I mean, it's not his masterpiece. It was live. Mostly when a comedian has an act, they go out and by the way, I recommend watching Jerry Seinfeld's documentary Comedian, because it shows how a comedian gets a special. He goes to clubs, he practices it. It depends on what you say, how you say it. You saw there were a few mistakes in Chris Rock's act, but he came out, he spoke his mind. I think he had every right. I thought it was brilliant, and let the chips fall where they may. And, I don't think he should have used the B word to call her that. But, he was saying a lot of things, the B word all the time with Will Smith. Maybe he shouldn't have said his wife. But besides that, I thought it was a brilliant thing. I really did. What else? Oh, and then one last thing. There's enough beautiful places to go here in the United States. When you travel to other countries, you're on your own. You don't have the protection of our Constitution. You don't have the protection of our police or military. You're in their country. You decided to go vacation, even though it's close by. You decided to vacation in another country, and it could be dangerous. As a matter of fact, I've never been to Mexico, but I know a lot of people that vacation in Mexico, had a beautiful time. But I remember one copper that went to Mexico, and he explained to me that places like I forget the name of the vacation place, the Sandoval or whatever it is. These vacation packages, some of these vacation package places, to protect the people in their country, they actually have, it's like a compound. You don't go off their compound. You stay in a hotel. As a matter of fact, places like Jamaica and Mexico, they actually have fake little towns that they produce to make it look like you're going into, the real Mexico. But that is all owned by their own company, so that they don't put their patrons in danger. You go to Jamaica or something, and you go on the Sandoval lot or whatever the name of it is. You go at the hotel, you go on their beach, you shop for trinkets on their little fake town there. They don't want you venturing into the ghettos of Mexico or into the ghettos or the towns of Jamaica, because these companies know, these vacation companies know that they may be sued if they venture out and something bad happens to them. If one of them gets killed, there's always a lawsuit. I came and I had a vacation package with your company, and next thing I know, my daughter's dead, my husband's dead, or whatever. So they even have like a compound mentality. It's a good idea not to go and spend your money at these places. Go to the Grand Canyon, go to Hawaii, go to Alaska, go to Florida or wherever, Arizona or whatever, and go see this beautiful country, because it's dangerous for Americans nowadays. Yes, people are going to travel, and that's great, and you take your chances. But it's a dangerous place right now. So you have to be careful of that. Anyway, that's my 2 cents, ABL. I'm glad I got in this week. And hello to everybody in the chat. And thanks for listening to me, ABL. And I'll talk to you later.
Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate you.
You're welcome.
All right. Great call as always. And you guys are fantastic for being here. That'll be a wrap for me. I'll be back live again on Saturday, of course, same time, same place, 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This podcast is a podcast. I almost got to mention that earlier. It'll be available on your favorite audio streaming platforms, whether that be Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, Anchor, Apple, iTunes, etc. Link for that will be in the description box, or go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. All righty. Thank you to the mods for keeping the trolls in check. Thank you to you guys for retweeting, watching, super chatting, whatever you do. I appreciate y'all for that. I got super chats right here. I'm going to read right quick. Then I'm wrapping on up, put the bowl clean on top. Thank you to Butt versus Windshield, who says, totally off subject. I think the Egyptians are really smart. They had hieroglyphics. Then we got an alphabet. Now we're going back to it with emojis. Yeah, correct. I've noticed that same thing. Like, I was wondering, it's like, hey, how do you guys understand what these hieroglyphics mean? But now we're doing the same thing with emojis, and you got certain emojis that mean certain things. You automatically know what it means from seeing it a lot. So, very smart. Thank you to Anthony McQuaid, who says, ABL, congratulations on your great article in the Patriot Post. We give 4 times a year. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. I wrote about Chris Rock. That might make it. I'm not sure if it's on there. I've not checked it. But, yeah, I'm going to write all the time. I'm going to do a lot more different kind of content all over the place with you guys. So thank y'all for reading that article, that column on Patriot Post for me. And if you've not seen my column, my weekly column, go to patriotpost.us. Link, of course, will be in the description. Butt versus Windshield also says, good news today. A 4-year-old girl was kidnapped 4 years ago from Vancouver, Washington, and was just found alive and well in Mexico. This never happens. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. And thank you to Don for becoming an ABO supporter. I appreciate you. But that'll be a wrap for me. So thank y'all again for being here. And until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.